Hi everybody. How you doing?
Hey
Welcome
everybody.
back to High Shelf Gaming on a Wednesday.
Yeah. Hey, so this is High Shelf Gaming. I'm David. We're all going to be playing as Mavens, which is so great. I love that word. I've been reading up on it. This will be Brindlewood Bay, but a little bit about all of us before we really get going. High Shelf Gaming is obviously a actual play show on Twitch, and we do stuff on YouTube. And whenever things calm down and we start going back to kind of board game conventions and tabletop conventions, the podcast will start again, and that'll be great. Like I can't wait for that to happen. So tonight we have a new face with us. Well, Andy, welcome, Nefarious.
Thank you.
Um, tell us a little bit about the stuff that you do. You're from the Jabroni crew. You were a part of our 12 days of actual plays, and I think when we
I
said, "Hey, we're
am.
gonna do like a Golden Girls meets Cthulhu game," you were like, "Yes."
Yes, definitely. My name is Andy, also Andrew. Either one is fine. I go by Nefarious Obituary or Nefarious Obit or Nefarious Obituar, depending on what social media lets me use how many characters. I stream on Twitch very rarely. I don't think I've streamed in a little while myself, but I'm a regular guest star. I was here for the 12 days of actual play. I stream with my boyfriend Finn, who is at phantasmal_fox. I stream with my friend Tankstein, who does a lot of space games. I was just on with somebody else. I was on with the Goth Ant, who was streaming, I think,
Oh yeah,
Dead by Daylight or something. So I tend to just show up in people's streams,
that's great.
whether it's planned or not. But yeah, no, I'm over from the Jabroni crew, over in the Fight Milk Club. We tend to do a little stuff. We have a YouTube channel, which is Jabroni TV. We have a Twitch, which is, well, we don't have a Twitch. We all have individual Twitches. We have a Twitter that's also, I believe, just Jabroni TV. And yeah, we tend to
Yeah,
do a lot of fun stuff. A lot of people stream there, but happy
yeah,
to be here.
it's so
Uh,
solid.
it looks like I took that off.
Oh no, well,
We'll need to put it back on.
yeah, we'll fix it. We'll
To
fix
shout
it.
out
Yeah,
something that Andy did not shout out about himself, him and his boyfriend do have 2 or 3 episodes of Voicecraft,
we are up to 3.
where the him and his boyfriend are playing Minecraft together.
Oh, fun.
They are fabulous episode shows. I would highly check them out.
Oh, that's awesome.
Very,
That's,
very nice, chill, low energy, just sort of Minecraft
yeah, that's
shenanigans.
the
Very
right
short.
way. That's the right way. When it's all like hype, it's like, come on, it's just Minecraft.
Get a
All
few
right.
more pixels and then we'll talk.
Yeah,
Maybe
that's
I'll
right.
maybe I'll get a little excited.
Get you some
about it.
texture packs and then call us. So real quick, just talk about some of the other stuff that we're up to. Let's see here. This Saturday, we're going to be playing Aegon. That's our next game after tonight. And then on, how are we feeling on Shadowrun? Do we want to wait until?
I think we should stick with the same plan
Okay,
because Casey's Mass Effect is next
right.
Friday.
that's right. Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
So-
So next game from us is going to be Aegon on Saturdays, and then we'll be coming back around to this again on Wednesdays, and then after that we get into some Mass Effect and some Shadowrun and some awesome stuff like that. So tune in here. We got lots of stuff going on for all kinds of different role-playing games. I think those are all of our announcements right now. This is the month where we launch 1,000 games, and we see, which ones make it home after their Odyssey.
For real, like
Yep.
for real.
For real,
At least,
for real.
at least
yeah.
in one of those, that's yep.
Yeah. Mike, I'm going to turn it over to
Literally,
you.
literally the point of one of those.
Yeah, bring us to Brindlewood Bay, where we are Mavens.
Yeah. So Brindlewood Bay. It is a game where we will be playing members of the Murder Mavens Mystery Club. You are all fans of a particular series of murder novels by one particular author and the jet-setting character they all circle around. And you all live in the town of Brindlewood Bay, out on Cape Cod in Massachusetts. Formerly a whaling town that is now mostly it's all basically tourist driven for the most part. But everyone here is an older woman who has probably retired or may be running a business or something small here in Brindlewood Bay. But you're all on your own. you may have children or nephews or nieces who are elsewhere, but if you were married, your partner has passed on. So yeah, they actually give me a real nice, well laid out section in the book about, here is session 1. Start here and roll through. And we have talked about some of that. I think up front they do say, do player and keeper introductions. And I know we've hit David and I know we've hit Andy, which is good.
Let's introduce
That's
you.
everybody
Who are
else
you?
doing the job for me. I like that when that happens. Hi,
Who are
I'm
you,
Mike.
keeper?
I am Mike. I will be GMing the game. I am the Wednesday night resident GM, I think.
Have a nice GMing residency here at High Shelf Gaming Podcast.
It's just this is the night that is my shift, and then I just find some sort of game to use in that shift. So that's
We're working on getting
for
your
a while
your tenure
on a tenure track. Yeah. So yeah, for right now, as a
Did that
break,
get close to home? Sorry.
as a break for us after a year of Blades in the Dark, and before getting more, let's see how bad capitalism could be with red markets in a few weeks. We're gonna spend some time in Brindlewood Bay, solving mysteries, doing what was done.
Yeah.
So then, see, I still feel obligated to do that. Nope. Over here is Katrina, who is a regular on the channel as well. So
I am. I play in. Do we get a residency for being the players in the Wednesday night game?
That's right.
Ethan, David, Casey, and I have been just grinding away. I play games on HSG. Sometimes stream under Katrina, but not really. And I've run the Tales from the Loop game, and I'm running the Shadowrun game that's coming up.
Mm-hmm.
Which we need to circle back to Tales from the Loop. I'm feeling it.
Loop back around.
You caught the itch.
I have. Yeah.
I was watching
That's good.
and it's like, man, it's so creepy. It's so
Oh, the Amazon series. Yeah.
I haven't watched that, but
It's like way darker than the game seems, but that might just be the way that everyone
we play
I
it.
know who's run it. Yeah.
Which leaves us down here with Ethan.
Oh man, that's me. I'm Ethan. I'm here a lot.
Yeah. Cool. All right.
That's bad. That's all. I mean, I stream on my own channel, but that's occasional.
You run our Saturday.
Aegon.
Aegon
And I run our Saturday game. Yeah. I mean, that's how I was
You
here
do
like a
things.
lot. I do think. Yeah, that's all I gotta know.
That's right.
I bring apparently I bring the emotive face that is the most gifable face on the channel, perhaps. There's my accolade. Yeah, me and David duke it out for who can make the wildest faces.
Yeah.
You know what, folks? I just to talk a little bit about that real quick. Jagos in chat is our official clipper. If there is something worth clipping, Jagos has it. And then if it's worth gifting, Katrina does it.
I think you guys are neck and neck in my favorites.
Oh, wow.
Yep. You guys each have 6 in my favorites.
6.
So many.
6. I thought there were like 3.
No, feel free to continue. I'm just going to post everything I have.
Every other week, there's just a new version of my face in the Discord.
just appears.
Yeah.
Oh, man. So yeah, we have a Discord to join if y'all want to join. All right, so let's move on. Let's make a Maven. I want to make a Maven.
So right before we get into that, just because it is a thing and most of us have played together, we know each other, we know what's going on, we're probably not going to go anywhere that's going to get too weird for anybody else, but they do up front in the beginning of everything have us have a CATS discussion, which is concept, aim, tone, and subject matter. There is a big chunk of block text for me to read that will help explain a bunch about the game and a bunch about what's going on. So
I love block text.
Cool. Yeah, it's everybody's favorite. That's the best part of every module, right? So
read this aloud. Colon.
No,
concept
by TSR modules. No, of course not.
let's talk about modules for a minute, because I'll tell you about one that I hate.
Oh
It's gonna-
God! Oh no! Oh
On the
no!
rails. Back on the rails.
3
back on the
hours
rails,
later.
Back on the rails.
Okay.
Back on the rails.
Mike, come back. Sun's getting real low. Sun's getting real low.
Sun's going down, guy. Big guy. Sun's going away.
Sun's going
There's
away.
no vampires in this game yet.
Oh,
Yeah,
yes,
he
the
doesn't
original
even
one
know
in the
what he's gotten
70s was like
into.
really concise, and there's like 2,500 pages. No. Okay, so concept, aim, tone, and subject matter. Yes. So concept. Brindlewood Bay is a role-playing game about a group of elderly women, members of the local Murder Mavens Mystery Book Club, who find themselves investigating and solving real-life murder mysteries. They become increasingly aware that there are supernatural forces that connect the cases they are working on, and, in particular, a cult dedicated to the dark, monstrous aspect of the goddess Persephone will come to vex them. The game is directly inspired by the television show Murder, She Wrote, but also takes inspiration from the works of H.P. Lovecraft, cozy crime dramas, and American TV shows from the 70s, 80s, and 90s. Aim. Today we're going to be begin by creating characters. After we create characters, we'll introduce them and populate a special section on the character sheet called A Cozy Little Place. Then we may take a break. After that, we'll have a beginning of session procedure, a special set of scenes called Cozy Vignettes, and then we'll present the mystery that your characters will begin investigating. After that, we go into regular play. At the end of the session, there's a short debrief, and in future sessions, we will present new mysteries towards the beginning of the session and then dive straight into regular play. Tone. The tone of this game bounces between cozy and creepy. Most of the time, it'll be fairly lighthearted, but occasionally it may get dark and menacing. Some kitschy, campy humor is permissible here and very much in keeping with some of the game's inspirations, but above all, your characters should take everything they do very seriously, even if we're having a bit of a laugh from time to time. Subject matter. The subject matter may occasionally get dark and challenging, especially when the dark occult rears its head. In order to help ensure no one's fun is ruined by the subject matter, we have a pinned post in Discord around lines and veils. Lines are things that we're not going to include in the game. Veils are things that we may make reference to happening in the game, but will never happen on screen. We'll either talk about them having happened or fade to black if they're going to happen. If you have something you'd like added to either of those lists, you can mention it here, you can put it in the channel, or you can private message me, whatever you're most comfortable with. There's also a couple emojis set up on the server to give us the X card. If we hit something that we haven't addressed before and someone's uncomfortable with it, that's the out, right? We'll cut it there. There's something called an N card, which is sort of in line with veils, like I don't totally need this cut, but like let's skip past this particular conversation of what's going on. Yeah. And there is also two more. One is called an O card, which is things that you're cool with, especially things that you enjoy going on through the night. Then we can track that to like, hey, maybe we put more of that in later and next time in another session. And there's don't make it weird.
What?
There's a joke in there.
Oh.
That's the
We'll work it out off screen. There's also an O, like O question mark card,
Really
which is
blindsided me there.
I got you.
I was like, oh. Speaking of the O question mark card, we'll pull that one out, David.
so the one with the question mark is to it's to check in. It's like an active check-in, like, is everything going okay? Are you having a problem? Is everybody cool? We'll stick by an open door policy. If there's anything that you're uncomfortable with, something happens, you need to step away, cool. If it needs to be longer than just a minute or two, it's nice to have a heads up. If not, we understand. And that policy always obviously applies to the audience as well. So we love having you watch. You're not obligated to keep watching if something is not sitting well with you. Ta-da. So Cats is a creation of Patrick O'Leary and was slightly modified for Brindlewood Bay.
Gotta get that disclaimer.
Hey, you know, it was
Viewers
there in the
like
book.
you.
There was somebody like yes.
They're like, in
Was
case
it
you're,
in the
in
block
case you're reading
text?
this block text on a stream that people would see, legally you have to say this bit.
Yeah.
It was
add
not
this
in the
part.
block text, but you know, hey, give
Oh,
credit where
you're-
it's due, right?
Yep.
You're supposed to read that silently then. That's the advertising that goes into your brain directly.
Was capitalism.
Yeah. So, the next step here is we start making characters. And I think everybody has a character sheet because I know we were kicking around ideas and filling in some names and all that kind of good stuff. Most of the stuff on the sheet is probably fairly self-explanatory. If not, people were asking questions and getting clarifications before. The one thing we do want to stop before is before you reach the section for a cozy little place, because that is a group activity that goes on for that. But name, style, deciding on a cozy activity. No two Mavens can have the same cozy activity. You get 1 point to add to one of your abilities. And then everybody needs to choose a Maven move. I don't know, Andy, I think you were talking about having the Fox Mulder move. If you take Fox Mulder, that means nobody can take Dale Cooper.
What are we losing with Dale Cooper?
Is that like
A
the
very
for
similar
everything?
thing to Mox Mulder.
Yeah, Fox Mulder is there is somebody involved in the conspiracy who feeds you information, and Dale Cooper is you have weird dreams which give you information about the
Oh, okay,
The
gotcha.
conspiracy?
So it's not like,
yeah.
hey GM, you have to now pump the team full of bonus info.
Yeah, and there's other ones that do it. It's just those two because they kind of grind on each other, especially if you have two different people with them. In the course of the game, one person can take both, but you can't distribute them amongst multiple people.
Got it.
I have
Guys,
some information for you. I knew you were going to say that.
Yes.
I had a dream with a small man who danced and talked backwards, and I know what you're going to say now. Yeah, that's.
I didn't realize when I asked for Michael Knight that it was David Hasselhoff.
Yes.
I didn't put that together until I googled it right now.
You got the Hoff.
Yeah.
Not the
Power of the
Hoff.
Hoff within you.
Yes. I
Yes.
like
Power
Michael
of
Hoff
Knight.
compels you.
Yeah. As my Maven move, if you guys don't mind.
Yeah. Yeah, so for anybody who is watching along at home and has not looked through this game before, all the Maven moves are like special investigator moves, and they are all named for characters from TV shows, mostly men from like private investigator shows in like the 70s and 80s. And Alf.
Those that your Grammy watched.
Because, yeah.
Well, I mean,
Shows-
Fox Mulder is
shows
on
for
here,
them.
which is X-Files.
That's
which
true.
isn't-
That's true. X-Files.
That's
has
cool,
some
Granny.
Intergenerational reach. Bridging the gap.
Yeah. So Michael Knight for me.
I'm pretty sure that Fox Mulder spoke to some grannies. You know, like I'm pretty
definitely.
sure he had a fan base.
For sure.
Yeah.
It was the hair.
It's always the hair.
Can you tell me about the
Yeah.
abilities? Like what info we need to know?
Yes, it did not cross-link to abilities in Legend Keeper because it wasn't capitalized. Haha.
Yay,
Yeah, let
Legend
me fix
Keeper.
that. Yes, so there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 abilities. Vitality is for actions involving strength, dexterity, endurance, athleticism, or raw physicality.
I want to be a ripped grandma.
Composure is any action that requires a steady hand, a calm disposition, or intense concentration, or if you're trying to avoid fear. Reason is for studying books, researching a problem, examining a crime scene, or otherwise engaging mental faculty. Presence is for trying to charm someone, intimidate someone, or capture someone's imagination. And sensitivity is if your Maven's action involves supernatural forces. So that is tuning in to the supernatural sensitivity.
So we have a 0 for vitality, so we're generally not going much above a shuffle, right?
So it's all the dice rolls are 2d6 plus one of those abilities.
Okay.
Right. So
Zero
it
is
just
like your
means you're not
average.
going to get yeah.
Got it. So I think I'm going to go with adding, because you only get to add one, right? So I'm
Yep.
going to go
For now.
composure as a artist painter type. You know, she still has a steady hand.
All right. I'm thinking, especially based on my Maven move as well, maybe some reason. My character, since I got
Ooh.
I took the Angus MacGyver move, so I can. They get to just tell me some things that I find, and then I turn them into a gadget. It's great.
I cannot wait to use this move, or for you to use this move, and for us to just shout random objects at you.
It's like a mini game. It's like
small rocks, little bits of lead, like a duck. Yeah, right.
A duck.
I think I'm taking composure as well.
Okay. And did everybody pick a cozy activity?
Oh, mine is antiques and furniture.
Okay.
Quilting.
Good.
With music in the background.
I forgot to say, not to min-max our party, but I'm also going to put a point in composure.
Wait, what?
For a steady hand.
Should some of us split?
Yeah, we'll be fine.
Well, I have reasons.
We'll level up.
I can do some good investigative thinking.
I mean, what are the chances that the grannies are going to have to do something physical or anything?
You know what? I'll take presents. I can work this. I'll take presents.
All right. Nobody needs vitality. It's fine. No, we're old ladies. Lean in.
Yeah, we all lean into that. Yeah, we're shuffling along.
No, so I will put a point in composure because, again, a steady hand and my cozy activity will be birding, using binoculars or
that's awesome.
Scopes of some variety.
Okay. David, what was your cozy activity?
I was gonna say painting with music.
Okay.
Like I'm painting with music on in the background. It's usually like Operation Ivy or Rancid or Bad Religion or
Okay.
The Dead Kennedys.
The kind of calming stuff you would expect, yes.
Yeah.
Well, see, Dead Kennedys, now
over
you're
here.
on there.
Every so often she feels spicy and she throws in some guar. But generally speaking.
We're gonna end up singing like Vlad the Impaler in the break. Like
Yeah.
Would have been a tailor, but he's Vlad. No, anyway.
My high school English teachers loved Coheed and Cambria, and she was like 70. It was wild.
That's awesome.
Quick, question.
Mhm.
On the character sheet, presence is 0, but in Legend Keeper, it's 1. And I just want to know if it's correct.
That is a good question. That
Oh,
is
yeah,
probably
0.
me to
0, 1, 1, 0, -1 is what it is by default.
Oh, well then my presence is a 0. By golly.
Yes.
Sorry, I'm lost in my own Legend Keeper. Hey kids,
Sorry.
Legend Keeper is great for helping to manage your campaign. And
We love Legend Keeper.
yes.
I think the creator of Legend
has
Keeper
many
said-
amazing abilities.
Yeah, I think the creator of Legend Keeper it's like, oh, that high shelf gaming always going off book with the uses of Legend Keeper.
Like, tell me you're not supposed to make an entire character sheet in Legend Keeper because I don't.
I mean, people do it, right? There are templates that you can recall the same template over and over again.
There's one person here that uses Legend Keeper as a Kanban board.
Yeah, what kind of a sociopath would do something like that? That's
Probably the same kind of one that drives in silence.
Wow.
The pins move
He came for your heart. He came for your heart. Sir.
That's a
I
deep
have to
dive
focus.
callback. That's,
I am not a serial killer.
Welcome
you
to
know,
the madness.
you know who
Say
else
that.
would say I'm not a serial killer? A serial killer.
It's correlation, not like causal, I'm sure. I'm sure those are just correlated with, psychopathic behavior, not causation.
2 + 2 rarely equals 4, actually. It's fine.
Typically,
right.
it's 5.
Thank you. Yeah, Room 101 tells us these things. No, my middle name, just full disclosure on that whole front.
Can't wait.
I'm very interested.
You have to have a three. You have to have a middle name to do the whole deal, right? It's like John Wilkes Booth, not John Booth.
Yeah, no.
That's John Wayne Gacy.
My middle name is Wayne.
Yeah, no.
Okay. This is tracking.
I was talking to my therapist, and he goes, all the serial killers, their middle names are Wayne. I was like, stop that.
Oh my god. Nice.
So, y'all are, you touched something that has come up in other contexts of my life, and it freaks me out.
One that told us about the not listening to music thing. All right.
Oh man.
Well.
All right. So we all have our 1 point spent.
Out here.
I know. Yep. He's just gonna. I'm just gonna quietly delete that stream key. Just like we know it's coming. It's coming. So we all have names, styles, cozy activities, ability points. We've all chosen a Maven move.
We haven't formally shared our styles.
Well, the next one is character introduction. So,
wait, I don't.
Ta-da! Right? Like,
I just want to make sure I've got the move I want here.
Okay.
Follow your heart.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna do the Frank Columbo one. I mean, it's solid for me.
No, nobody's taking Gordon Shumway to have a cat. That's just disappointing.
I think we can get another one. At some point in the game, we can get another Maven move.
No, okay. you can eventually start buying more of them as upgrades as you go.
Well, we'll remedy this.
See, my challenge is that in Aegon, I already have a warbird, right? So I didn't want to have like all the David just has pets. I see David's thing now. Like I couldn't keep doing the same thing.
David always has animals.
That's right. That do my dirty work for me.
Yeah, that's like it's like when Connor of the werewolf game on this channel's fame, when he runs D&D, just companions out the wazoo.
Yes.
Just an obscene amount of companions. Like 6 at least. I feel like we have in every campaign, if not more.
Inquiring minds want to know, David, do you play Druid all the time?
That's a yes. That? Okay.
Yeah. Was that a yes?
Yeah. Druid or cleric?
There you go, Jay. What? The hard-hitting questions are getting answered.
What am I?
Plays a druid. Likes to have pets in games.
Yep.
Middle name's Wayne. Let's come up.
Middle name's Wayne.
Wayne.
Listen to music.
There was a thing where I would always buy a hunting dog. Because like hunting dogs were like as strong as a level 1 party. And like, just go solve the problem for us.
I think the ASPCA would like to have a word.
Yeah, PETA would have an issue with my fantasy roleplay usage of animals.
Yeah. They're gonna cancel D&D because there's dogs in it.
Yep. If that's what is gonna get it canceled,
folks, that's what you tune in for is groundbreaking content like this,
and inflammatory language.
Well, just consider that. Yes. So, going back to the list of things that's supposed to happen in session 1, we get to go around.
Any of the things that have happened.
Nothing. We're 45 minutes. We checked 1 box. That's that was me stumbling. That was me stumbling through a bunch of box text. Yes. So next we get to go around the table and have everyone introduce their murder maven by name, style, cozy activity, and maven move. And then we will go around the table again, and there will be 3 questions or 3 aspects of your maven's earlier life to describe. So we can start down in that corner with Ethan.
Me.
So who's your murder maven? Their name, style, cozy activity, and maven move.
All right. Well, I'm playing Mavis Berkeley. She, her style is a little hippy dippy. She likes to wear like loud patterns, and it might be on a blazer, it might be on like a sweater, but it's probably going to be like a little silky as well. Like she's got like that kind of style with like the big, jewelry and like necklaces, and she's got like the chain around her glasses. And much like the image I found earlier, they're like the very like broad, like thick rimmed but circular kind of deal. Kind of got like a little, it gives you like an Art Deco vibe, which is probably not using the word Art Deco even close to how it's meant to be, but it's very like in your face, but still a little retro. She's probably like I imagine at this point, like a lot of other, very powerful women from television, she's a substitute English teacher. And like librarian, but only like part-time, like when they need her kind of deal. She'll come in and work a shift. If those kids, they just want to go to cartoonnetwork.com. They don't want to type. She'll lay down the law because everybody loves Miss Mavis. And her cozy activity is antiquing. She likes to find old pieces of furniture and also like old books. Her favorite are old antique books. And that's, and the Maven move is the Angus MacGyver move. So she's very handy and can just piece impossible contraptions together out of ordinary household items. And she does that with furniture as well. It makes like furniture art, like all the antique furniture, they just turn into something else. Like that.
Nice. Okay. Andy, do you want to tell us about your maven?
Absolutely. So my maven is Irene Adeline. Her style is office hours. So has the look of someone who's, she's probably not working necessarily. She's living off of a pension. But she still wears very like business suity kind of things, ranging from, something a little brighter, a little more colorful, and then sometimes she wears like all black suits, very sleek looking black suits. So that's her style. Her cozy activity is birding. She likes looking at things from far away, finding a good hiding spot and then just kind of peering down at birds, mostly birds. And her maven move is Fox Mulder. So she has someone connected to the dark conspiracy. And so every so often they will, we'll arrange a meeting and they'll pass on some really crucial piece of information that I couldn't find out otherwise due to my connections.
Katrina?
Sure. I'm playing Opal Conrad. She's just the loveliest old woman with like blonde, almost white hair that's kind of feathery. And her style is all the cardigans. So she's often wearing a sweater, but normally like not, it's wrapped around her shoulders, hooked with like a sweater chain, like a silver sweater chain. But so she just has that there. But there's always a sweater. Like there's, and if you need a sweater, I got a sweater for you. Her cozy activity is quilting. So she likes just making quilts for everybody, making sure that there's some down at the clinic for people if they need them. And then my maven move is Michael Knight, which is having a trusty mode of transportation that's gotten me out of a sticky situation more than once. It's called Sherry. Sherry, and it's a Chevy minivan with wood paneling. That when it was sold to her, they said it was cherry wood, but she heard that it was Sherry. So that's the car's name. Sherry's here for us. And I haven't decided what her accent is because it's gone Southern and Minnesotan. So we'll figure it out.
Yep.
I'm in the same boat. I don't know.
Right.
She's from Southern Minnesota.
Where's it gonna land?
All of the old ladies I've based my character off of were heavy smokers. If not when I knew them, then earlier in their life. So like I don't know.
Gravelly.
It's deeper than my current voice, and I just don't know how to communicate.
It's not so much an accent from like a region. It's more just Dr. Girlfriend from the Venture Brothers. Yes, dear, I'm here to help you.
I'm here to help.
I wanted to
there,
go.
but
I wanted to go Minnesotan, but I have a feeling because I am a Texan that it's just gonna go Southern. So we'll see. But that's
it'll be what it'll be.
It will
go
be, yeah.
binge a bunch of Fargo and come back next week. Yeah.
Find a healthy middle ground somewhere like Oklahoma or Iowa.
Yeah, get a Nebraska in there. Yeah.
Cool. I think that just leaves us with David.
So, Frances Keshner, she is she's artsy fartsy, right? She wears a lot of like black, a lot of white and black. She tries very much to put on the airs that she's high society. But her maven mood is Frank Columbo, which reads that something about you causes the elite of society to not take you too seriously. What is it? Probably that everybody can sense that she is just what is it? That she is, how to say this? Trying too hard, right? She's trying real hard to be hoity-toity and artsy fartsy, and just is not, just misses the mark, right? I'm thinking like a Moira Rose from Schitt's Creek, you know, like she's kind of a has-been, and like her reputation isn't so good, but she still has all the finery in the hair and the wigs and all of that kind of stuff, and she still tries to go all out, but nobody takes her calls anymore, kind of thing. Yeah. I get some pretty okay investigation stuff with that flying under the radar by not being taken too seriously by high society. And my cozy activity is painting with music. And Miss Frances here, she prefers the punk and the like heavy metal. So specifically,
as you do,
specifically the like Scandinavian heavy metal. So, you know, Swedish.
Nothing says it's time to go out and paint as an old woman as, you know, listening to Norwegian black metal.
Yes,
like, yeah, that's
exactly.
I want a bunch of people with corpse paint and like
that's what brings her comfort is painting when the mood is right with a glass of wine.
I call this painting the Blood Eagle. No reason. It's just a landscape. It's just a Bob Ross landscape, but she calls it the Blood Eagle.
This painting here is the blood of my enemies, and it's like a popsicle stand with some kids buying popsicles. So yeah, that is Frances Keshner. Is there anything else I need to describe about Frances?
There's another round that goes through where we ask three more specific questions about all the Mavens. First, I wanted to applaud Ethan because his Skurlock's old Risky Standard shirt came, and that's also boring. That's
I've got my Aegon shirt for Saturday too.
Mine on the way.
Cool. All right. So we go around one more time, and we have each player describe 3 key aspects of your Maven's earlier life. We describe their deceased partner, Their children, if any, and it says pets are okay here too, and your career before you retired to Brindlewood Bay. Um, so I can just call on people. I can let you volunteer if you want. I can just,
What were the three again?
your deceased partner, your children, if any, and your career before you came to retired to Brindlewood Bay. And then after we just
find an old man name.
Yeah. And then after we do each of those for each character, we'll fill in the section on your sheet called a cozy little place, where it'll be like the place. Your cozy little place is the place where you do your cozy activity, right? So it's your painting studio. It's where you have all your quilting stuff. It's where you have all your birding gear and your collection of like notes for birding. And everybody will name an item in that space. And then as you're out doing things, as you're investigating stories, as we're playing the game, if you can call on, one of those items as being relevant to the situation at hand, that will give you a bonus in rolls and checks for that thing. So yes, 3 pieces of information, and then we figure out what's in your space to use for equipment. Anyway,
I'll start. We'll go in the same.
Okay.
I'm going to enforce the same order as last time.
Okay.
Is what I'm going to speak it. It is now here. Okay. What was the first piece of information?
So the three questions for you to flesh out.
You had such confidence going in. I was like, oh.
Well, I remember the first one. It's just the second two that I lost because I got caught up in old man name search.
Yeah. We do your deceased partner.
Okay.
Your children, if any. Pets are okay here too. And your career before you retired to Brindlewood Bay.
Okay, great. Yeah, so Mavis's late husband, his name was Vern, because I think that's just one of the funnest old man names I can imagine. It's just Vern. Yeah, and they did not have any children. They spent all of their youth traveling and doing other things and like doing shit like skydiving with all that money that they didn't spend on kids.
That dink life.
Yeah, they lived the dink life. And I think for Mavis's career, she was a librarian for most of it, but like maybe at like a university kind of deal. Like special collections kind of working like to organize like all the like old books and like, hey, if you shine a fluorescent light on this one, it might crumble into dust, so maybe don't, kind of deal. And curated stuff like that. Maybe did a little writing on the side, but just as like a hobby. But her career was definitely like a lot of other women on TV. She did a little writing on the side, and depending on the show, you got famous for it or maybe you didn't. But in this one, she didn't. She did some curating, some light writing, and now she pretty much does the same thing, but she's retired now and does it kind of in a more relaxed setting, like substituting at the school kind of deal.
Okay. Then as we're going in the same order because Ethan said we had to, Andy, tell us about Irene's former life, her deceased partner, her children, and her career before Brindlewood Bay.
Okay, definitely. So Irene's late partner was Lois Adeline. She was a journalist, and so that's how they met. Because Lois was a journalist, and they found themselves working on sort of the same cases, one might say. They have 2 children, Henry, who goes by Hal Adeline, who is in Army Intelligence, and Virginia Ginny Adeline, who works for Interpol. Irene's career was travel agent, but it wasn't really travel agent because her actual career was spy.
Dig it. All right. So yeah, then being part of this book club of like the globe-trotting Amanda Delacourt novels, like, yeah, that's. Well, I mean, usually it's easier to get through security at Heathrow than what it was in this one particular book, but the rest of it's pretty good.
I cannot wait for some old lady spy escapades. I'm here for it.
And the books are really accurate. That's why Irene enjoys them so much, is they're actually really spot on.
Love it. I think by the Ethan imposed order, I'm next.
Yes.
Out of me.
So Opal's partner was Al Conrad. He was a farmer on their farm in Iowa, and he died of a heart attack. Very tragic. It was in the field. I'll tell you about it. She has 3 children. Elizabeth, who lives out in the country with her husband and 3 kids. Caitlin, who is lives in the big city and is big business. And she's single, but she and then her son Melvin. Well, he just does everything. Like, he could be anywhere at any time. Columbia, sure. British Columbia, who knows? And her career before Brindlewood Bay was housewife, but then seamstress as well to pay the bills. But she's raking in that pension, like she's raking in that Social Security money. Her husband maybe was on the railroad for a while, so she's getting that pension.
That's making do pretty well out here in tourist town on the Cape.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Then David, tell us about Francis.
Yeah. So Francis Keschner's late partner was Charles Wayne, and he worked for the government. He's like a government contractor. Went around a bunch. So he traveled all over the. He's traveled all over the Midwest doing things, and Frances stayed home and applied her styles as to become an artist. She very briefly made a brief entrance onto the scene, had a debut that exploded, wasn't great in any shape or form. So after crashing and burning as an artist, she tried her hand at art curation. She tried to curate an art gallery. That was an expensive disaster, right? And then she finally settled down to be the art teacher at Brindlewood High, and they were the ones that didn't fire her for a long time. And so she's drawing that teacher pension, and the pension from Charles's job, and is at large at this stage.
And did Francis and Charles have any kids?
They did have a daughter, Mac. Mac is a lawyer now, and she currently has a pet named Baxter, who's a little like terrier. Baxter also happens to be the name of their former gardener, and so sometimes she tells stories about old Baxter, but kind of talks to the dog. And so you got to navigate those waters. Which one is she talking about? Who was digging in the yard? Was it the dog or was it the old gardener? And context clues, once the story is done, you kind of figure it out.
That's like the game we play when Kylan yells at somebody in a Discord call. It's Ethan or Vax.
You'll find out eventually.
Quit that. Stop scratching the couch.
That's right.
Who is it?
Context clues never help.
Yeah, they don't.
It's never enough. So I forgot to have us do the cozy little place stuff. But since we just finished with your character, David, let's talk about their cozy little place.
We'll do reverse order then, huh? How about
that? We'll bounce back to the other way. Huh?
Snake.
Take that, Ethan. Take
You
that.
think
It
it's
is.
not
No, it's
allowed?
allowed. Yeah,
Okay.
We'll do the Z from top to bottom instead of from bottom
That's
to top
That's
this
right.
time.
So,
That's
I
okay.
like that.
Settlers of Catan.
That's
basement
fun.
Order is what this
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
my cozy place. So Francis has like a little house. They've downsized ever since Mac left, and out in the backyard is like an old like tool shed, gardening shed that she's cleared out. She put in a sound system and a thing to hang her paintings, so she could throw paint at the wall, and then try and sell her splatter work.
It only has northward facing windows, so the light is consistent all day long.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And usually the windows are blacked out with blackout curtains. And
Okay.
yeah. So a painting shed. In the
Sorry,
back
I should have
of-
been reading ahead. Yeah. Yeah. So then everybody gets to name something that would be in your cozy little space. Like I think you have a stack of pallets and then like a bunch of those like retractable razor blade things where like it's not like the angled ones for opening boxes. It has a razor blade, but it opens up so it's flat, so you can scrape glass pallets with.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah, like she probably has like a number of interesting art supplies, like various knives, or like maybe like she probably had a whole project there where she was really into mosaics.
Yeah.
So she probably has like a bunch of broken glass and like hammers and stuff.
yeah. So the catch here is that it's your place, but everybody else tells you something that's in it.
Oh, my apologies.
And that's how you,
I
yeah, that's
I
how
don't know
you get
what's in
your
here.
equipment
I'm
list.
so sorry. I don't have
Yeah.
any of those things. I have a glass
So-
scraping X-Acto knife.
Yeah, you have a bunch of like glass pallets and stuff for like scraping and cleaning them with like razor blades. And probably a small supply of turpentine because I hated oil painted glass. Okay.
Excellent.
But yeah, who else can think of something that would be in Francis's little art space here?
It would be a much along the same lines as the scraper. It would be a couple other tools of that nature. Lots of like little what do they call them, for like palette tools. So there's like a little, it looks like a little hoe that you use for smearing the paint.
Yeah, like it looks
And
like a little
there's
trowel kind of thing. Yeah.
And there's probably one that's quite sharp that's used to like break up if you use like a solid paint and you need to break it up so that way you can reconstitute it. So you have like some little metal tools. There's probably some like little tweezers,
You could probably pick a
Little-
lock. Some of those.
you could maybe pick a lock with them theoretically, I suppose. You might say that if that was where that was going.
See,
certainly.
and that's why we write them down for later. That's
I think drop cloths of varying sizes. That some that are dirty that have been used, and some that are clean. Some that are I'm just throwing it in, big enough to hide a body. Some of them that are really small. To like look at splatter patterns.
so I just want to clarify the expectations of the game. We are solving the murders this time.
Oh,
Yeah, that's
oh.
Not
Sorry, I thought
not-
we were
not-
playing Blades
not
2.0.
complicit.
Oh man.
Sorry.
You have a
There
gun.
goes the entire drop.
I'm out, guys. I don't even know what to do with myself. Sorry.
I'm gonna do an X card to non-violence.
That's a, if there's any non-violent scenes, we're gonna have to fade to black. Sorry.
So did you write those down, David, for your?
Yeah,
The
I've got
character.
drop claws, dirty, clean, painted, etc., large enough to mimic splatter patterns, right?
Yeah. I
That might
just
be
wanted
a-
to make sure that we
for
weren't gonna like. I wanted to make sure we weren't gonna get past it and like later on tonight be like, oh crap, what was in my cozy space? So
Right. Yeah.
we've
I've
gotta-
only got 3 so far. I think
Yep.
I
I'm
need
a-
a 4th.
I'm
Ethan still
imagining
needs to
instead of
go.
like instead of like wrapping a body in him, it's more like in Dexter when he gets like the little ballistic gel head and is like, okay, so if you used a sledgehammer and it splatters, it's like,
That
well,
really
that's
was what
not
my thought was. But...
different. Yeah.
All right, Ethan, what are you giving me?
But you have to,
So
yeah,
I think
Any gifts from Ethan?
this place doesn't sound complete without just a really kick-ass music library with a lot of different mediums through the years. So you got vinyl, you've got cassettes, you've got some 8-tracks. Maybe you've got some laser discs in there. I don't know why. I'm not really 100% sure on what that was even for. A laser disc.
They were the best.
I just know that they got compact later, and that's how we got the compact disc. So you got like a pretty like all-encompassing music library.
Cool.
Even like a Zune.
Over here is all the Betamax tapes. Yeah, that's.
Yeah, I almost like a museum like music collection because it's just got all these different kinds of mediums and devices to play them and stuff like
Oh,
that.
that's fun.
Nice.
Thank you.
Okay.
Because I mean, punk bands, stuff like that, that came on all forms.
They really did. They really. Oh yeah. Oh, some of these are probably like concert recordings from like different shows and shit. Because like they never, this band never even like made an album, right?
Oh yeah, you have a wall of cassette tapes where the inserts were all run on a photocopier.
Yes. Yes. Thank
Right,
you.
like
yes.
that is.
Okay. Yeah, that's exactly what I need. But she's like, oh yeah, the Berkeley show. That was a good one. And
I think also a fun aspect of it is the equipment to play all of these things. Right. That's kind of, yeah. Maybe we're not supposed to angle these things towards investigation, but I don't know.
That felt really good. That felt like getting presents.
Yeah.
I can't wait to do this for all of you. This is fantastic.
That's good.
You have a brick. That's just...
You've got just a big stack of bricks. Where the fuck did that come from, right?
You get 4 artisanal bricks from each one of us with intricate detail.
I just got 4 gift cards. It's just
They're all to furs.
Yep. They're all $5, so I'm not going to use one on a thing. I'm going to have to use multiple on a thing.
Yes. Well, they got the early bird special, man. $4.99, all you can eat. Cafeteria food.
So you're supposed to combine the gift card with your AARP discount, and then your military discount. It's like, boom.
And your teaching discount.
And the teacher's discount. It's pretty sweet once you get up there when it comes to cheap food.
Yeah. So, Opal, what is? We get to tell you what's in your quilting space, right? Like that's what you spend your time doing. So. Yep. I mean, there's definitely going to be like a nice, but probably not super new sewing machine. Right.
Like a workhorse of a sewing machine.
Yeah, like it's not like the fancy new model with lots of like blinking lights and stuff like that. Like it's been running solid since like 1984.
Yep.
Never had to have it worked on. Goes through anything.
What is that? Like Singer makes a leather or like a denim, a denim sewing machine that can just like punch through almost anything.
I think is it one of those old ones that's like built into a piece of furniture as well, where it's like it just looks like an end table, and then you like flip it open and like the sewing machine flips up.
I think so, but I think if you're quilting, like it's probably one of those that also has like the wings that come up, so it has like more space to hold the quilt upright.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's my obvious addition to your space for you.
Okay.
Oh, where is your quilting space?
Oh, I'm sorry, what?
Where is your quilting space? Is it in your house?
It's in the addition she's building onto her brick house.
Yeah, I'm going to give you 20 bricks to build your addition. No, so yeah, is it like do you go to like a quilting group? Is that where all the stuff is, or is it like?
No, it's a room in my house that's dedicated to quilting, and it has everything laid out for that process.
Okay.
It's probably just It's not the guest room. It's its own room, like very specifically. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Oh, I was going to say, I think what you have is, now you're mostly focused on quilting, but like you pick up, obviously you pick up like other things along the way. And so you have like some sets of, like from yard sales and things, antique, other crafting tools. So you have like a set of wooden, and they're like all from the same time period and all the similar design. Works for looms, so like you have like loom shuttles, and they look vaguely decorative, and then also a few darning knobs for like darning socks, and you don't necessarily use them, but like you kind of have them like as like display, you know, their loom shuttles and darning knobs and that sort of thing.
You just listed 2 things that I have in this room.
Yes.
Currently.
I had, honestly, that does not surprise me. I had a feeling. Those are 2 things that I think multiple people in my immediate family own.
Who are we gonna give the like mini painting setup to? Who's the cool granny that paints minis?
So I have limited knowledge of quilting culture, and you absolutely.
Well, we don't want to hear it.
Yeah. You absolutely have a go bag. You have a nice leather satchel that carries a little air mattress and your changes of clothes, U.S. and Canadian currency depending on where you're going to go for your quilting show, and your passport and all those sorts of things. And
is it like one of those old lady bags that's like hopelessly large inside?
Right. Yeah.
And you're like, that should not
the bag of
just
holding
come out of that bag.
Yeah. And it basically has everything that you might need when you go to a quilting show. And you just leave it in the quilting room just so that oh, I got to get going. So you go and get all your stuff. It's like, there's the bag. And in that bag is everything you could ever imagine needing when you were going to go someplace and stay overnight at someone else's house, right? Because you don't go to a hotel for a quilting show. You obviously stay with a local, and
absolutely.
So you have all of the things you would need, including like a little gift, a little housewarming gift for whomever you stay with.
That's Brenda. I met her 30 years ago, 6 states over, and we've been best friends ever since. I haven't spoken to her in 10 years.
Oh yeah,
but we send letters every month.
Yeah, and in there is your quilting friends book. And every time you stay with somebody, they sign it, they give you their address and rada, and it's a document of all these people that in the quilting world and what they do.
This is just my real life now.
I like
fabulous.
I like David. I don't know anything about quilting. Also, David, here's an escape bag for if you need to flee the country.
You should always have one.
No, like my mom is into the quilting scene, and she's like, no, I have my like travel kit, and I was like, you have a travel kit for quilting, and she started describing to me.
I hate to tell you, your mom's a spy.
I was like, that's a damn bag. That is
your mom is just planning to flee the country, like when something goes bad.
She's in Texas, so she's like got Mexican currency, but whatever,
My inflatable mattress, my handgun, my 3 fake passports. The usual quilting supplies.
Different currency, euros.
Why is there a Mexican driver's license that says your name is Esmeralda?
Don't ask questions.
They ask fewer questions at the border if you show them that one. Look, some of those quilting supplies, they show up weird. They show up funny on the airport security. You got to drive.
You got to drive. That's right. Oh yeah, and of course $1,000 in gas money, right?
Right.
Gotta have cold hard cash.
In non-sequential unmarked bills, yes.
Nothing larger than a 20.
Come on. We all know that you need cash. People don't take those fancy cards at crafting shows.
Or in Nicaragua. Yeah.
Belize.
Oh man.
Yeah, we're gonna go Google list of countries that do not have an extradition treaty with the U.S. Like,
Yes.
yeah. In
It is printed. It is printed out from Wikipedia. It is very badly centered on the page, but it's there.
Yes. It's part of my scrapbook.
You have a gold star next to every person you know who are from these countries.
No one knows that the quilters are actually, it's a big spy ring. It's really what it is.
Does no one
International
know?
spy
Yes.
ring.
They just have parentheses "cool" next to their name.
Cool.
How do you find all the cool people? That's a cool person. Look at that.
Just
Prince
trust
is
me.
cool.
Just trust me.
There's like Muriel, and then Muriel Princey's cool.
Yeah.
It's like, you know more than one,
Yes.
but one of them's just a real nag.
I think
Basically an
Ethan, you still have to.
Oh
give me an
yeah.
item.
I think so. All the people I know that do like quilty crafty stuff like that, they've got like this big bag of like fabrics that they're like, I'm gonna make this into a quilt. And I think you've got like one of those, like just this huge, like some of it's like old t-shirts, some of it's like it's all these different kinds of fabric for all these different kind of projects, and maybe some of them are like cuttings from like family heirloom blankets, but you've got like this vast like collection of fabric. Which also means you could probably just sew up a storm if you needed to. Just need some pantaloons, boom, there you go. Got you some pantaloons.
Black non-reflective outfit to make it across the border with. We could get that.
Yeah, and probably
Just have
like one
some
of those.
leftover.
The
Probably like a
matte
big,
black section of her bag of cloth.
There's probably like even one of those like kind of tall shelves that has like the bolts of cloth on it, and you can just kind of pull from too.
Oh yeah.
You got like something set up on there. Because you never know. Sometimes you're like, oh man, I need Clan McAllister's tartan for this specific quilt. No other tartan will do.
Oh my god! If you have a tartan collection, that's amazing.
I do
I said
now.
MacGyver.
Tartans included.
Tartan collection included.
Nice.
Well, thank you guys. I love it. I love all of it.
Merry New Year.
And Irene, you were a birder?
I am a birder. The cozy space. Now, the cozy space is the top room of her house, which is kind of like a study. And it's been repurposed multiple times over the years. So it started out as her study, and then it morphed into the journalist's study for Lois. And then it sort of morphed back into a birding study. That being said, there's not necessarily fancy stuff, but it's a good place. Top of the house, views out the back onto the the backyard with all the great trees, and then views onto the front, which is street and other houses and things. Nice unobtrusive views.
I have one. I have one, and I'm very excited to share it. So
yes,
go first. You have a globe, but it's from like the 60s, 70s. So the countries are not correct to current time periods.
Yes.
But and it's kind of that brass, like brass color and wood. But it also opens, and you have a brandy decanter and some glasses in there. And with a very fine brandy, that you got in one of your travels that is in there. But you even have a couple like pins in it, maybe like places you want to go or places you've been, or where there is a hit out at. Yeah, like
there's one in the middle of Siberia for some reason.
There's a dozen pins on the eastern half of the Germany.
Yeah, East Germany. Yeah, that's mine for Andy. Yeah.
You're reading my mind. I was imagining that in the room when I was thinking about it as well. So it's perfect.
Why did you go to the Crimea?
What I'm saying is, if I didn't have to take retirement, we wouldn't be having problems.
So in that vein, I think you have a collection of varying degrees of strength and also varying degrees of like how obtrusive they are, like observation devices. Like on one hand, you've got like, here's my little opera glasses, and then over here, there's like, here's like the giant like night vision monocle that mounts on a tripod.
When you're hunting for the snowy owl.
So
or
there's
whatever.
kind of like, you know, a few
Oh,
different
yeah.
options in between for like.
Owl spotting ones, you know.
Yes.
This one
Yes.
looks like a scope that, you know, would attach to something. It's just for spotting a bird with one eye. You know.
Yes.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Now, Irene, you've traveled. Do you travel around to go do your bird watching, or do you bird watch in the Brindlewood Bay area? Kind of exclusive.
It's mostly Brindlewood Bay. I've settled that. I have past experience bird watching all over the world.
Sure.
You know, as part of being a travel agent, but mostly Brindlewood Bay focused now.
Excellent. So I think that you have, I think in your past, you did a big year, right? This is also a birding culture thing because my grandparents were birders. Where you
Fine to call it David's hobbies, yes.
You traveled as much as you could within the United States to see as many birds as possible. And that puts you in a lot of interesting places. And so you have with you an atlas of the US with and specifically around Brindlewood Bay, especially all these little notes and locations where you spotted birds and just other thoughts and things that you've had around there. So you have this like highly detailed understanding of the Brindlewood Bay area and also like surrounding areas getting more and more murky when we get out to the Midwest and West, because, you know, you were driving to see as many birds as possible. But still, you have like a great knowledge of many things in this area, with all of the observations you've had while birding.
Exactly. You know, sometimes there are like burrowing owls, and that's why I have blueprints of the old mine shaft.
Right. Yeah, of course. Yeah, there are definitely cave birds. And you got to know where the
Cave birds, Ethan. Cave birds.
Yes. You got to know where the
Furry
bats
cave
are.
birds.
That impacts like flight migration patterns for some birds or hunting grounds for some birds.
It's birding / batting.
Bats.
Much higher birding average than my batting average. But,
That's right.
No.
I think that Irene has like it's like an old kind of ham radio sort of deal, you know, from like back in the day when people were out, you know, they're out birding and maybe just communicating over long distances. How, you know, how's it going, you know, kind of deal. And they can get in contact with you easily over very long distances without paying those pesky long distance phone rates.
Exactly.
You know,
we said the eagle has landed a lot.
Mm-hmm. Probably there's also like even on the outside of our house there's like a little antenna that kind of sticks up. Make sure that the ham's got good signal.
Oh yeah, because you got to be in on the airwaves with the birding scene.
That's right.
Yep. Thank you. That's perfect. Ethan has a gun.
Oh God.
I was wondering if one of us was gonna get a gun.
I thought about it. I also thought about, like, you know, instead of the ham radio, the statue that like you move the head back and press the button and the bookcase flips around to like a gun cabinet. It's like you're not
just John. It's just John Wick. It's all
It's all the shotguns you use to kill quail and all those.
Oh yeah, I use them to scare away bad birds.
That's right.
Of course.
Because only good birds stay after you shoot a gun.
Bad birds know to be afraid of loud noises, so therefore, yeah.
Good birds inexplicably not.
the good local birds that I've gradually inured to gunfire. So that way.
You had like a little speaker just slowly turning it up with occasional gunshots going off to inoculate them to it.
Oh man.
All right. I was going to say that you are an antiques and furniture lady.
Oh yes. Yes.
So-
cozy place.
You definitely have one thing that's really unobtrusive, but it is the most prized, one of the most prized possessions of your collection. And you have it's an end table that is, the top is like, it looks like green stone. And so it's unobtrusive. It's not overly fancy. It's not overly decorative, but it is a very nice end table with a malachite top. But it looks unobtrusive, so nobody would realize it's super expensive. And that's where you keep, like, it has like a sort of, it's one of those like Art Deco time periods where they were like making everything with secret drawers. So it's really unobtrusive, but it's really nice stone on top, and it has a secret drawer that you use to store, like, a very special book. It's and
that's where I keep the Necronomicon.
Exactly. That's the one. It's the special book that you don't let anybody, you're very proud of it, but you don't let anybody else know, because it's much more important that you keep it safe than it is that you show it off. But the end table itself is also super fancy, super expensive. Malachite top, Art Deco, 1920s.
So
Yeah.
I know exactly what the book is, because that's
It's
what
the
I was
Necronomicon.
thinking about. And it is a first edition book from like the late 1900s that has like American urban legends or American folklore with like the first recorded man in it.
Say the Mothman.
I did say the Mothman. And that's it has like all these like urban, not urban, like folklore type things, like first edition copy.
Gotcha. So like I've put like first edition copy of Book of American Folklore.
Specifically, the first
Mothman.
story of the Mothman.
Yes.
I'm giving
The Mothman. Yes. I was told by a BuzzFeed quiz that on the inside I am the Mothman. So it's how fortuitous.
Mavis, you have it's made out of clay, and it's been fired, and it's very hefty. This block, it's so big. I'm just kidding.
It's a brick. It's my fancy brick.
It's red. It has 3 holes that run through the top. That's it.
Holes, yeah. No. I'm not gonna give you a 3-hole break. It's a 1-hole break. No. I'm gonna say that Mavis, as part of your antiquing, you have a little side game that you like to play, because sometimes these antique shops don't know what they have. And Mavis, you collect artifacts of secret societies. You have a Masonic sword. You have
yes.
a signet ring from, Skull and Bones. You have a handful of items from these various groups, and you have to dig hard, because when these antique shops find that kind of stuff, if they're smart, they give it back to those organizations, right? It's the ones that are new to the game, they leave it out, and you've only got a certain amount of time before those groups find them and give them the talk, right? So you've got maybe 6 items.
Okay.
Love it.
Sweet.
The talk is sometimes a mommy secret organization and a daddy secret conspiracy organization love each other very much.
And they make a country that you will not fuck with.
When the sons of freedom and the daughters of revolution come together in the springtime, they have a cotillion, and then Anyway.
Young man's fancy turns to thoughts of revolution.
And then capitalism.
Yes.
Yeah.
Every time, every damn time. What is it with this game? All these games. Anyway, so I think from your time with the library and the special collections, you probably have a kit that's it's for kind of like close investigation of items, like the magnifying glass and the jeweler's loop and like the brushes and like the things so you can like flip through these books without damaging the pages and like try to reconnect the spine where it's starting to crack and stuff like that. But it's like a kit around kind of like investigating and finding all the details of an object like this and then some upkeep to it.
Yeah, so like a kind of like appraising and like restoring like books.
You got like the right like oil for leather, restoring leather, and all that kind of stuff. Like a little,
and like it's probably got like a little like kind of shadow box almost thing too, with like you can change out the lights at the top to make sure it's like appropriate light for light sensitive material.
There's like a little collection of light bulbs because like all the bulbs are from like 1943 and like they don't make all of them anymore.
Yeah. But I think Mavis's cozy place, like physically, is in. It was the library that her and her husband kind of curated in their own home. And so it's like, it's got like the nice plush carpets and like the wall-to-wall bookcases all around, except for where it's broken up by like display cases and things like that. And like half of it is completely cleared out for like restoring furniture and stuff like that, because you got to have room for like woodworking stuff or whatever, right? Whatever it needs to like cobble together, maybe make some art out of some of the furniture pieces, because you don't have all the pieces. So you can just, I'd turn this weird table into a phonogram because I also had some pieces of one of those. So there we go.
As you do.
Now it's built into the table. Yeah. And it has all these wonderful things in it. I love it. It is like getting presents.
Yeah, it doesn't feel good. I want to keep doing this. This should be the game.
It's a cozy game.
And then you have another bottle of wine and you're cozy for us. Just go around.
Cool. Yeah, so like the next thing in the actual official agenda, and it kind of lines up pretty well here, is take a little bit of a break, right? Like let everybody get some water and think about their character, and then come back and we get to do the usual beginning of session type things that happen per session of Brindlewood Bay.
Yay!
So we can pop off for our usual 10 minutes or so here.
Yeah, definitely. Yes. Should we do? I'll light up the giveaway machine. We got a couple of folks in here, so we are gonna give away a copy of Legend Keeper, or beta access, I should say, beta access to Legend Keeper. I just need to fire up the giveaway machine real quick. And if you don't know, it is a great little campaign management tool and world building tool, and it's what we use to run this game and all of the games here at HSG. Not because they like make us do that, but because we like it that much. And that's why we want to give you a copy of it too, because we like it. We think you'll like it as well.
People can't see Braden standing off camera right here with like a knife out. Like,
come on, David. I'm going to start this thing. So I think it still says 12 days. So toss in the chat. I just need to change that. I'm just so bad. Put 12 days, 2 days, all one word into chat, and that will enter you into win. I just did a little example, give you a taste. Toss that into chat, and that'll enter you into win your own. Yes, your own beta access to Legend Keeper. You can start making your own campaigns and worlds in there, and invite up to 50 of your friends into your games, and then they can invite 50 of their friends into their own games. So this is one of those things that like it's a gift that's going to give a lot. So toss that into chat, and folks, we'll be right back. 10 minutes.
10 minutes.
Sure. So 50 past the hour, 10 before the next.
Yes.
10 till.
Find a good way to address this. It doesn't make us seem like time zone centric. Yes.
Right. Awesome.
We will see everyone then.
is.
Hi. Dude, don't get weird with it out here. That's too late. Hi, everybody. How you doing? We're back.
Fancy seeing you here.
That was
surprise.
All right. Well, only me and Katrina put in for the thing, so I'm just gonna close out this raffle.
Oh no.
It's all good. It's all good. Don't matter.
We've given out so much Legend
I
Keeper.
already
at this point.
have.
We have
I already
saturated our
have
market.
one.
We have saturated our market.
I have several.
and every so often the baker Brady's like, this guy's already got a thing, and I was like, oh yeah, I guess we did already give them one.
Yay them?
Yes, yeah, yay them. All right.
Yes.
So we've taken a break. That's
yes,
cool
we made characters. We found out what's in their spaces. Everybody got their presents. Like here, you have a book. You have a bookshelf. You have a globe. You have a bottle of fine Scotland whiskey. And then we take our break and we come back.
Over and over and over.
Every time. Every game, forever after. And yeah, so we'll do a couple things here that are beginning of session things. I don't think anybody took a Maven move that says beginning of session something happens. No. Okay.
My Maven move
Fox
did
Mulder
give
in
me an additional cozy place thing.
Oh, sorry. Which you had Michael Knight, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's the minivan.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Then go ahead and add Sherry to your cozy items list, and you can call on Sherry as an item as needed, and you don't even have to check it off and do it. No, Dale Cooper is, and I think there's one more.
Because one of them's like voicemail messages.
Yeah, Jim Rockford does from the Rockford Files, where they both get clues up front from dreams and answering machines and stuff like that.
Scarecrow
But everybody else is
yeah, that makes sense.
Scarecrow. Yeah. Cool. Yeah, then I don't have to make anything up on the fly here to start with. But at the beginning of a session, on the character sheet, there are XP triggers.
Love a good XP trigger.
Everybody does. They are on on the sheet. They're labeled end of session, right? Because they're the questions for the end of session. The first one, did you solve a mystery, is always checked. And at the beginning of every session, everybody gets to choose 2 other triggers. So you pick which things, if you do them during the session, are going to give you XP at the end of the night.
Oh.
Did you behave like a woman half your age? That's one for me.
Did you show someone that you've still got it?
Yep.
Yeah.
Did you dote on someone?
So we have to pick these in the beginning.
Yes. Beginning of the night, you pick 2 things, and if you do them during the course of the game, then those 2 things will give you XP, and so will solving the mystery.
I think as like the consummate like punk rock aficionado, I have to pick, did you secretly undermine the authority of a local official like every night? If I don't, then I'm just a poser, right? So I've got to like constantly stick it to the man, and that's definitely one of mine.
Yeah. Well, and if you're one of those of us who in preparation for the game has been binging Murder, She Wrote, every episode she does better than the police at figuring out what's happening. Like every time she undermines their authority. Yeah, right. It's like look right there on the shirt. I couldn't help but notice. Like,
you're not supposed to be here. I'm just looking around. It's fine.
Oh well, it's just there's this ladder that leads straight up to the window where the murder happened. Yeah. Yes. So yeah, undermining authority is a pretty common occurrence across.
Okay.
Kind of the inspirational media behind the show or the game. So yeah, that is a very justified thing to be marking at the beginning of the night.
When it talks about you share your wisdom, like it doesn't actually have to be like, it could just be some like random thing that you think is wise. right? Like, it doesn't have to actually be a like.
I mean, you've seen how I do it the other blades, right? Like, did you do the thing? Yeah, kind of. Okay, cool. We'll take an XP for it, right? Like,
Cool beans. Works for me.
it's pretty low key.
So for the first game, I'm taking. Did you share your wisdom with a young person, and did you share a memory of a late family member?
Cool.
I got share wisdom, and then did you show someone that you've still got it? And it's got to be said exactly like that. Still got it.
I'll do behave like a woman half my age.
Nice.
I will do, did you show someone that you've still got it? And also, did you secretly undermine the authority of a local official?
Bonus points if it's the same person.
Mm.
And
Bonus
think
points if
of
it's
think
in
of both
two-
trigger from once. Yeah.
Bonus points if it's in two very different ways. Like you spread some truths about the local official, and I like
Yes.
blackmail material.
Yes. Oh, I meant if you show that you still got it and undermine that person.
Well, pretty much every man our age we meet is going to in some way try to hit on us if it's anything like Murder, She Wrote.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's just a constant. It's like, you're such an enchanting woman, the way you just solve murders. I just can't help it.
There's a lot of very aggressive courting for lack of a better term.
But it
right?
can
Like,
never
yeah.
be. But it's always it can always never be. It's like, oh, I would, but I'm a KGB agent. I can't stay with you in Maine, Angela Lansbury.
The romance in the pilot was like just like a candle burning at both ends.
That one was wild. Yeah.
So wait, hold on. Because I did not do my homework. I did not binge watch a bunch of Murder, She Wrote.
Oh, that's it. Get out.
Damn it, David.
I know.
I'm on like episode 2021 now.
Jesus
Season 1.
Christ. So hold on. I just got.
I watch it while I grade.
So does that mean that like all the like older gentlemen that we meet, they're all like thirst traps?
No, it's typically not reciprocated.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or if it is, it's like you're nice, but no.
Also, you murdered this fool, so like we can't be together because you murdered a guy.
You're a murderer. Yeah. Okay. Good. I just wanted.
You know, if you ever leave the Soviet Union, maybe it'll work out.
It's like the whole. Okay. Yeah. Fair enough. Just making sure.
When I'm not temporarily serving as my state representative because for some reason they thought, let's send the murder writer for 6 months. Like, yeah, right.
So it's so funny. It's like you've been called to be an elected official for a month. I know that you're just an author from a small tourist town, but you
should
probably more
represent the people
qualified
of
to be in
Maine.
Congress than half the people there.
You should represent the people of Maine, identify the like corruption going on, and solve a mystery at the same time. That's
And she can do it, damn it.
Right.
Because
she is a modern woman of 1986. Like, yeah.
yeah. She is.
Yes,
Angela Fletcher.
got it. Yes.
Thank you.
Jessica
All right, good. I'm up to speed.
Jessica Fletcher. Thank you, sir.
Just had to understand.
Okay. Yes. So if we have our XP triggers down, then we get to do cozy vignettes, where every player gets to narrate a short vignette showing their maven enjoying her life in Brindlewood Bay. It says these scenes should be light and breezy or warm and cozy. They show the maven enjoying her hobbies, helping with a community project, working out around her home. And then I think the only thing to note in there is that eventually everybody's going to end up upstairs from the local bookstore for Your Murder Mavens Mystery Meetup, where we sit around and we sip tea and we talk about these books that we all love. But first, we get to see, a little scene of the everyday life of these four old women who live in Brindlewood Bay.
So it was Opal's turn to bring the biscuits for the Mavens Mystery Club. So she is at the local grocery store because it's not no Piggly Wiggly, right? It's the local grocery store. What? What was that look?
Piggly Wiggly's the step up from the local grocery store. Okay. Piggly Wiggly is pretty fancy. Where my grandmother was from.
So
Step below Winn-Dixie.
Sure. Okay. So she is just getting biscuits, maybe some chocolates if we're gonna spoil ourselves, just gotta get some of those. And just having a lovely chat with the cashier, who totally wants to hear all about how chocolates used to get made, how she used to make chocolates back on the farm with her husband, as she's being rung up.
Yeah, I think that it's like one of the local teenagers who it's still probably late summer, so that they're not in school right now, and they have like one earbud in, and they're probably not supposed to while they're working, but it's like the older kind of a supermarket, but like it doesn't have to like boop, right, like they still have to like ring it all in by hand, um, and they're bagging kind of like yeah, chocolates, right, yeah, like putting it into the bags for you.
She's just chipperly talking about how you make chocolate. You have to make sure you double boil it, or you have the double boiler, and she's just happy as a clam just talking about it. Totally thinks they're kind of paying attention, and just gets everything in paper bags because the environment, and happily makes her way over to the bookstore.
I think towards the end of that, it's like it's the TV show, and like it cuts to like the kid watching you leave, and like it's like what they're hearing, and it's like yeah, and I hope to see you soon. It's like there's like your voice, your mouth is moving, and there's just like no audio. It's just music, like like, and you realize that like they're nodding their head to the music. It's not even like they were
Yeah. Yep.
Cool. Yeah. So who else is somewhere in town here? What you getting up to on a Saturday afternoon?
I think Frances had to bring the sweet tea. She's got that southern sweet tea. It's like been sitting out in the sun, and it's crazy sweet. And before she makes it to the club, she has this like big, jug of it, that she's bringing with a little spigot on the bottom, and she has to stop at the art store and get some more paints. And so she's like kind of quickly walking. She probably has that like that kind of like sharp, fast, no nonsense gait that some like will have. And so she's very focused getting to the oil paints, and she gets like some pastel colors, and however many like tubes of pastel oils she gets, like say there's 5 different colors she grabs an equal number of black, and puts all of those, carries them all back to the counter, and kind of waits impatiently while she gets rung up, and she's probably late, and so just trying to make up for the time that she knew she was going to spend, because by the time we're done with the club, the art store is going to be closed, so I can't wait, I have to do this now. And she's kind of like watching the kid ring it up, make sure that they do the change right, that I'm not getting shortchanged on the till here.
Yeah, and I think
know this
like
woman.
I think as we're discovering in chat, we all know your tea jug too.
Oh yeah, it's got the big sunflowers on the outside, right? And
oh, boo! It was supposed to have bees.
Bees, okay, bees. Yeah, sure. What
Sunflowers.
Poor grandma had is what
I'm pro sunflowers.
Bees and sunflowers.
Thank you.
Possibly.
Thank you, Andy. That's what we needed, was a compromise.
Flowers need something to pollinate them.
The diplomat, yes.
See, this is exactly what my grandma had, was this crazy yellow thing with all the sunflowers on it. Yeah.
Mine too.
I have one of those, but it looks like a mason jar.
Nice.
And it's huge.
Because your family did moonshine? No?
I mean, It's way back, but
Way-
that's not why. I bought that one from Walmart for like $50. Because
Just mason
that's
jars
the
and homemade liquids. I always go straight to it.
if like people not from the South want to be like, oh, I'm gonna have a little Southern chic party, they just make everything a mason jar.
That's right.
Which like fair enough.
Yeah,
but,
I mean,
like still,
that's all that Chip and Joanna Gaines business. That's all that.
like, pay me $15 for a bowl of shrimp and grits.
Yeah.
You mean the owners of like everything Waco? Excuse me.
Yes. Oh,
Like-
I know they own that town now, and Berkeley's got to figure themselves out before they run out of land to buy.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. All right. Cool. I'm done. I'm done. That's what I'm doing. I'm shopping and watching this kid like a hawk.
I think the art shop probably isn't a kid. The art shop is probably
Okay.
like run by like a family that's like older and like
okay.
it doesn't see enough traffic to like hire kids to really work in it. It's
Okay,
like it's just
gotcha.
like them.
Gotcha.
So-
Yeah. If Brindlewood Bay is not like a college town that would have like a huge supply of people willing to work for nothing, then then in that case, I'm having my weekly catch up with my art supply purveyor.
Yeah, like they are probably like nowhere near the scene that you're usually part of, but like they're like what's here.
Right. Yeah.
There's
yeah.
like
That's a
there's
good point.
because
So,
there's
yeah.
them and there's like the people who come for like a week with their kids who like need something to occupy them, and like there's like the handful of people who are here year round who actually buy stuff from the art store.
That was a wild audio change.
Y'all don't hear that?
No. Yeah, I did.
Because I normally hear that like a few times. And it just
Here. What?
so like your audio changes like quality sometimes for like just a little bit, and then it changes back, and I'm not sure what causes it, but it is interesting.
It's like a filter turns itself off and turns itself back on, like
That's
like a high pass filter or something like that suddenly kicks in.
weird.
'Cause
I'm
you're-
not sure what would do that. Like I usually do run through like Chris for the noise cancellation stuff,
Gotcha.
but
Yeah, it does tend to happen.
That was the first time I ever noticed it. I was like,
Oh.
whoa, because I guess it was like mid word, and I don't know.
Yeah, I always thought it was just me because I do hear, but I mean it's not like a bad.
well now I'm
It's just
so
different.
conscious about it. Just I want to figure out what it is.
Oh, I'm so sorry,
Yeah.
Mike. I didn't mean to do that to you.
Oh no, like it's not bad. It's just like
Well,
it doesn't show
That's
up
the
here.
first
So,
murder mystery we're solving.
Yes.
Who murdered
Nice
the audio?
Yeah. So yeah, in that case, Frances is talking about her moments in New York. When she was talking with so and so about why red is so difficult to work with, and you really should use gloves, so that you don't get lead poisoning and that kind of thing. And she shares facts with this art purveyor as if they don't know anything.
I bet this dude's far enough away from the actual art scene to like believe all the things that
Yes.
Francis says about the art scene.
Yes, exactly. Because she name drops like nobody's business. Yeah.
oh, yeah, him. Yeah, him.
Yeah.
I don't do that. Is-
Warhol is shorter than you'd think. He is.
Oh yeah, he was just in the shop a
Tag
couple
me
weeks
with a
ago. He was here on
spoon.
vacation. That yeah. Cool. Yeah. So we have Francis, we have Opal, we still have Irene and Mavis, who we get to figure out what they're up to here in town.
I'll go ahead. So Mavis is definitely in her cozy place, in her home, and she is working on right now she's restoring some old book that or like working on it. It's like one of her side projects, and it's like this old edition. It's like a reprint of like an illuminated text. And so it's like not the original, so it's not like priceless or anything, but it's like still worth a lot. And like the illumination's kind of gotten like kind of messed up with age. So she's like using her little like tiny paints to like kind of reconnect some lines and like put some protective layers over some pages and like stuff like that. Make sure to last a while. Doing some binding work. It's things that I don't know anything about, but she very much knows about. And then I think in like funny television fashion, she kind of looks up and sees the clock that's like, it's like an old cuckoo clock that's like on the wall. and sees like what time it is, and then will kind of like gasp, and then like her glasses will fall off her face, and she'll like run and get her running shoes and then a couple like 3-pound weights and like go power walk down the street to get to the bookstore. Doesn't bring anything. She's got her purse of like incidental goodies kind of deal. Like maybe she's the cash, like if we go out for ice cream after, like she's the one that's always got the pocketbook because she doesn't bring anything.
There it is.
And so she's just got the like, okay, I got the ice cream. Yeah, we're good. Don't worry about it.
That's awesome.
But yeah, and then of course in her giant like old lady purse that's made out of like, I don't know, some weird hippie fabric. You know how it is. Like it's one of those like, it looks like kind of crocheted. Maybe it's like one of those really big kind of bags. She's
like
got
a tied hemp thing.
Yeah. She's got like an extra pair of shoes, and like it will definitely put those weights in there and act like they're not. Like, sure, there's definitely not 6 pounds of weights just waiting in this thing. Like, no, I'm just carrying it around like normal.
And she's just gonna go like set it down on the table and not realize from how high. Like, thunk. Yeah. Cool. Nope. How about Irene?
So I guess we would have like a little montage. Irene's day is pretty chill. Wakes up very, very early, like just as the sun's coming up, goes up to the top room and brews a little portable coffee, sort of like just a little mini percolator kind of
like
thing.
the little the metal like the Bialetti type things.
Yeah, exactly.
Like
just
like espresso type deal. Yeah.
Exactly, just a little espresso to start very early. Looks out both the front and the back windows for a certain amount of time. Writes down some notes on a notebook. There's 2 notebooks, and one is like, we would see the shot of like looking through the binoculars, and there'd be a particular bird, so then we would open one notebook and then write the name of the bird and the time and the date and that sort of thing, and then closes up and then looks out the window and then sees the mailman walking down the street and like zooms in on his tie, and then opens up the second notebook and writes down a different note but in shorthand, and then closes that one, and then at that
tie
point
2 days in a row. Harold flipping.
Yep. Exactly.
Or the Jenkins twins smoking pot again.
The Jenkins kids. Are they smoking pot again? And if not, why not?
Yeah.
If not,
and
where is that rapscallion down the street who sells it to them?
Yep. And so then that would be about 2 espressos in the morning, and then she would go, because she doesn't have to bring anything to the book club. She's able to leave early to go to the thing. She doesn't have to like go places. If she has to bring something, she makes sure she brings it and then arrives just on time. But if she doesn't have to bring anything, she like walks kind of discreetly around town. She checks in on Frances, just kind of looks at Frances, sees what Frances is purchasing, and then walks by, sees what Opal is buying in the store. Like we would see her just like, we would cut back to the Opal scene and Opal's just talking away, and then you see like this whole time 2 aisles down, you just see Irene just look over, and she was in the background of the earlier
like
scene.
Neighborhood busybody. I love it.
It is. And then she would go to the coffee shop, the little sort of indie coffee shop next to the bookshop. The one that's staffed, and like every single kid in there has like dyed hair, and they're just they're cool, but they, she's a regular, so she just sits in there and just listens while they chat. And so they'll just talk about things, and every so often she'll like get a little piece of information there. She'll interject and like ask a clarifying question, get a little information there. So at that point, that's her 3rd cup of coffee for the morning. And so she sits there and just gets all these coffee shop working kids to just tell her information all about what's going on, what's going on. And it's all things that are like going on in school or going on with their friends. and so by extension learning things about their families as well. And she just, there's a little flash of her taking mental notes as just interesting facts. And so then fourth cup of coffee, and then about that time is when she would pour that into a to-go cup and then head over to the
when does she pop her high blood pressure medication? Like, is that on the first cup or on the fourth cup?
She is cool as ice. She's like, there's no change. Her resting heart rate is like 60.
And that's after a marathon.
That's right.
That's after a marathon. She does not flinch. So then at that point she would take her cup of coffee and they'd be like, hey, do you want a little top up? And then they just top it up. So technically it's 4.5 cups. And then she heads over to the coffee shop.
I feel like her at-home coffee is like something that would strike people as odd, like maybe almost like a Cuban coffee kind of deal. Like she specifically does like the little like thimble full, but it's like 4 cups of coffee.
Super dark
Turkish,
roast.
the Turkish coffees or whatever that are like mega potent.
Yeah, the Cuban coffee is like that too, but it comes with like a little thimble.
Oh wow.
And they'll be like, hey, careful with this. Like I know it's this big, but very careful, please.
Yep, she definitely has a few of those that are imports from her travels and gifts from people that she gave good travel deals to in other countries.
Why does that one say Castro on it? Don't understand.
All I'm saying is
it's real Cuban coffee. Yeah,
sometimes you need to put a finger on the scale to get yourself some good coffee.
It's like, no, those documents say I went to the Culinary Institute of America, not that I worked for the other CIA.
Exactly.
I want to work study Cuban cuisine.
A joint Cuban-Russian cuisine work study.
Yes.
Then later on, you get to go and you'll be upstairs at the Candlelight Booksellers, who are the local bookstore. This is a small enough tourist town that's kind of like far enough out that like there's not a lot of like the big chain type things most of the time. So you'll get like the little mom and pop place where it's like, if I walked into Barnes and Noble, I could find anything, and if I come into here, if I want to find something real specific, I probably have to ask them to order it. They try to cater to probably like the people who are here for like vacation times. Like there's a lot of like trashy paperbacks in the window kind of thing for people to read on the beach. But you are all part of this group where like we come in, we special order these particular murder mystery novels. They know that we are reliable clients. We come in frequently, and you're in there often enough that they let you use like their upstairs reading room type space for your meetings. It's a fairly small space, but it has several places to sit. It has a little table. Usually they don't let people take food or drinks up there, but you guys, they know they can trust you, so they do. So as the camera pans around the loft where you hold your Murder Mavens meetings, there's a lot of alliteration in all the documents for this game. What do we see that shows how you have personalized the space?
There's a quilt rack with quilts on it. Probably lighthouse themed quilts up there. Just in case it gets chilly. It might get chilly, and you should always have a good quilt in case it gets cold. And it's an attic type space, so like
when it's nighttime out here on the coast, even though it's the summer, right,
it
can get chilly.
Yeah.
Plus, you guys live here year round, right? So like you're used to.
And we're old.
Let's snow blows in. You guys are. This is the only place you're getting to for a while. That's
right.
So okay.
Frances has hidden a flask of whiskey in this room. Only she knows where it is. So she has to get here just early enough to get to the flask, and dump some of it into the tea, and then re-hide it before anybody else can find it, because this is our entertainment time, and it has to be, we're trying to set the right mood here. So everybody knows that it's a hard tea that you get at the bookstore.
Special
It's a twisted
Squablin
tea.
whiskey, though,
It's
right?
a twisted tea. That's right. That's right. And she makes sure to have a little for herself as well before putting it away. And
it's one of those like take a little dip off of it.
Yeah.
Pour some in, take another one, screw it on it.
Yep. And then it gets hidden behind a one of those like one of those short bookshelves where they've got like a bunch of periodicals and that kind of thing. And she has found that there's like where the middle shelf meets the backboard, instead of the backboard being flush, the shelf actually goes through the backboard a little bit, and there's like a little teeny tiny shelf in the back of that where the flask rests right there, and so she can reach back there and get it. And we don't really know how the flask gets filled. It's just always there when she needs it.
Every now and again, she refills it at the rate, or does she?
Maybe
Does it always just have some in there?
Maybe there's always something in there because maybe one of the other library people kind of know the game.
One of the other owners knows that this is a good way to keep you coming back. Keep stopping it
Right?
off.
Yeah. Exactly.
Look, the indie bookstore game is it's
your
next
client.
level.
Yeah.
It's serious business. They want to stay in, keep making money.
In this economy with Amazon,
They gotta count on this return business. These recurring clients in order to do these things.
And if it costs them a couple of shots of whiskey every week, whatever.
I have a friend in his like friendly local game store just goes ahead and orders and then like sets aside one of any new like D&D book or whatever that comes out. Like they just automatically order it, automatically set a copy aside, and it's just like, yep, just you know how much it costs. Like just toss the money, you got it.
Now that I'm thinking about it, maybe what she does to like pay for this is she brings in a copy of one of the tapes of one of the shows. It's second generation. She has the first generation copy, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's second gen primo.
Still better than what you're gonna get off like those Amazon people. Half the time they don't even have it at all. They're just ripping it off. But
eBay, they just send you a blank cassette and say, "Ha."
The last 3 times I ordered something off eBay, I clicked the link that it said picture of the item I was searching for, and I just got a Polaroid in the mail. It was so disappointing.
That's right. So yeah, she leaves a little cassette there for somebody to have and enjoy.
Nice.
And that's how she keeps this keeps the liquid flowing.
Here's Fugazi in Cleveland in 1986.
There it is.
Sorry, I was just going to say, Irene's sort of little personalization thing would definitely be like a rotating collection of books. Like I assume up in the loft area, there's one little window. And so there's a rotating collection of bird watching books. And every time you would go to it, different bird watching books. And then there would be one non-bird watching book. So like one, it would be make and model of common American cars, and with all the details there. And one time it would be like planes, both foreign and domestic, small 2-seater planes, foreign and domestic. And one time it would be like identifying tire treads or identifying shoe wear. Or there's just one weird identification book mixed in with the bird books every time.
I feel like it's probably also like appropriate for the mystery novel we're reading or whatever. Like that's one of the clues.
Oh, always.
Like, when then we look it up and it's fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it's like different like not like different like sail materials for boats,
mm-hmm.
right? And then or whatever, like different ways that ropes get tied on ocean going vessels, that kind of thing.
Exactly.
That's fun.
I think Mavis restored like an old record player with like the big like
Like the big metal cone type one.
Yeah, the big metal
Yeah.
cone type speaker. And has like a bunch of records of like backing tracks for like the music for like old mystery shows that she brings and plays, you know, while everybody reads. To where it keeps, you know, the suspense kind of builds during the mystery because we got a little soundtrack, stuff like that. And then a bag of props. She has like a little box of props for when people do readings and stuff. Because she's, you know, can't take that English teacher out. Just can't.
Gotta keep the kids' attention, right?
Because they're like, now, are you really going to read for Sir Reginald without this top hat and monocle?
Yeah.
Come on. What are you doing?
Does that mean that we dress up while we read? I think that's hilarious. We should.
Do you like act out like portions of these novels?
Mavis for sure does.
Yeah.
That's like
Francis a game. Absolutely. I have to show that I can still carry a room. You know, absolutely.
It's like the big scenes, you know, when you want to get, and like sometimes we got to get like our spatial, like we got to get the space kind of figured out, right? Like spatially, what does this scene look like? And so everybody gets their costume, stands around the room and reads.
It's not that Frances is good at this by any stretch. She has a presence of 0, but she puts in a mean effort.
Yeah, I think
does her best.
I think Mavis's box of props tends to be along the line of like the books that Irene brings as well, where they're like, oh, they talked about this material and I found a coat that looks the same at Goodwill. At the Goodwill, I found a suit jacket that's about the same kind of deal. And so it's like,
Irene definitely gets very into it because Irene definitely acted as back in the day,
Travel
like very casual. Yes. In her youth, she was an actor, and also, but especially like the framing the shots. That is very much the big one that she gets into. Is like, nope, hang on a second. He was, well, you're so tall, and it's listed his height as around this tall compared to the main character. So we know you should be standing on a box approximately this size in order to get the height right. Very big on angles.
Thank you, Raiders. You guys are awesome.
Yeah. Well, welcome everybody.
It's Kimmy.
Hey,
Kimmy.
Hey.
We're old lady.
hello.
Hey.
We're mavens.
Ah.
We're here to solve
yes.
murder mysteries.
We are playing Brindlewood Bay, heavily inspired by Murder, She Wrote. So yeah, we've been hanging out at our book club and talking about the space that we have our book club in.
We've like officially just finished making our characters. It feels like.
Finished setting up
Yeah.
we're ready to go now.
Yeah.
Are we ready to all make our backup characters now, or?
Yeah. Rocks fall, you die. Next round of
Damn it.
characters.
Always happens.
No. So yeah, you're there, and in the evening you have your book club meeting. You talk about the latest and greatest of these Gold Crown murder mysteries that came out, and you know there was the great twist ending in the back. And towards the end of the evening, as things are winding down, like there's like the last half of a biscuit on the tray and only a couple chocolates left. You hear footsteps in the stairwell. And up into the room comes the Sheriff Wyman Dalrymple. He is the sheriff for Brindlewood County, and he comes upstairs. He's acquainted with you all. You've all spoken with him before. He is Wilford Brimley in a sheriff's outfit, who comes in and like kind of like, sorry, I hope I'm not interrupting the end of your meeting with diabetes. And it's like, I hope I'm not interrupting the end of your meeting. And he's a little out of breath from coming up the stairs. And he'll kind of like wander over to the table. Yeah. He will wander over to the table and like probably take that last chocolate and like put it in his mouth. He's like, but I was hoping that I would, run into you all here. Figured this is where you all usually hang out, on a Saturday evening. stuff.
Francis goes over and says, "Oh, Sheriff, you shouldn't busy yourself with these treats. Here, I have just a thing for you." And she like pulls out like a cracker or, some sort of like non-sweet thing for him to consume because
You
she like
just
knows, you know, she's
plus
trying to.
you are absolutely like, yes, these are all old women. And she pulls out this little sealed packet of 2 saltines from like
Oh
going
yeah,
somewhere for lunch.
exactly.
And they're from like Wendy's, right? They're not even
Yeah.
like
No, 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 no,
It's-
no,
they're
no,
like
no, no,
branded.
no, no. Francis does not get
I'm stealing the
some fast food garbage. No, this is a fine
Saltines from the fish
digestive
house.
straight from the Great British Isles. And it's got some like French name on it, but it's clearly made in the UK, right? So it's,
yeah, it's the ones where
in and
like
of
they
itself is
taste
putting on
like
airs.
saltines, but like they're round. Yeah.
Right,
Like,
yeah.
yeah.
Mm.
With like a
Yeah.
tiny bit of ginger in them.
Yeah.
And she takes care as she produces this to not get anything on her like black like neck to ankle smock thing that she's wearing, her like high fashion dramatic piece that she has brought to book club. She's gonna feed him but not get any of the crumbs on herself.
Okay. Yeah, but he
What's the sheriff's name?
seems kind of confused, but he accepts them. He is Wyman Dalrymple. There's a sheet for him in Legend Keeper. I think it's public.
Yep, I see it in the
Okay.
NPCs.
Yeah, in the NPCs folder. Okay, cool.
Oh,
Um,
that's not spelled the way I thought it was at all. Okay, please.
Hey,
Sorry.
sometimes you go with what you got. That's what was in the thing. Yeah, so he will kind of take the crackers a little bit confused and like kind of set them to the side while he's taking a cup out of the tea jug because like he doesn't know what's in it and he definitely shouldn't be drinking that while he's on duty. So
I'm
he's
not gonna
like,
stop him that.
I like to
That's-
think
Yeah.
I like to think that Irene wouldn't have necessarily said something, but would have certainly handed him the cup.
Yes. Perfect. Yeah, so he will be like, well, I don't know if you heard about it the other night, but yeah, there's been a lot of tourists around, and we've been trying to keep the news kind of quiet. But the other night, we fished a body out of the bay. It's like, and he takes a little sip of like the tea, and he kind of like looks around. And he's like, that's tea you could use to strip paint, and he kind of like sets the cup down. He's like, we've been trying to keep it under wraps, but yeah, Albert, we found the body of Albert Kraus the other night. He's a wealthy financier from Boston. He was dragged out of the bay dead. He and his family were here on a yachting vacation summer. Brought the whole family. And they're currently anchored a quarter mile out from shore. The rest of the members of the family, his wife, Amanda, his eldest daughter, Sarah, his son, David, and his youngest daughter, Emily, they all say 2 nights ago he was on deck, he was drunk, and he fell overboard. It's like, I don't know what it is. Something about that doesn't sit right with me. I can't quite put my finger on it. It's like there's too much money on the line for them to be so nonchalant about him just accidentally falling overboard.
Well, are these adult children, Sheriff?
Yes, they are. All the people who are mentioned so far are all of age, legal age. Right now, they're holding the body down at the fish market. They have a friend who is one of the fishmongers here in Brindlewood Bay. I tried to get them to just let him take it to the funeral home. I know we don't have like a big morgue and all that kind of stuff in town, but we had someplace it could have gone. But it's being kept cold by their friend, the fishmonger. That is Etienne Beauregard, the fishmonger. And if I can't figure out something else that's going to really prove to people that something weird happened here to this guy, then I'm not going to have any legal standing to prevent them from shipping the body back to Boston and having a funeral. just going ahead with things as well. But something about this place really doesn't set right. So I think for Mavis, I'll say that you met one of the Krause's children several years ago. What were the circumstances around that meeting?
Oh, what were their names again?
Sarah Krause is his eldest daughter.
Okay.
David Krause is his son, and Emily Krause is his youngest daughter.
I think that so Mavis will say, "Oh, I know Emily. She I subbed in her class at Brindlewood High a few years ago. I had her for British literature. She had a stunning Macbeth. Just stunning."
So they're not from Brindlewood Bay?
Oh, okay. Then it would be
They're
in Boston.
Okay.
They're from Boston, right? Yeah. So
Yeah, the family's from Boston.
Yeah, right through Boston. So it'd be like one of the Boston high schools. I'm sure there's like 10 of them.
Boston High.
Boston. There's probably at least one Boston.
Somewhere in South Boston, there's a high school. If you went there and you helped out, that's
yeah.
Can't do a good Southie accent.
It's a Southie.
Yeah.
Oh, it was of course at the Boston Arts Academy.
The Boston Arts.
Boston Arts Academy.
Oh.
I'm sure that's not offensive to anybody from Massachusetts.
Yeah.
There's an Academy for Arts.
Frances has opinions on the Boston Arts Academy, and she shares them. They're not great.
There's a whole period, like 5 minutes, that are just bleeped out for television.
Yes. I think Sheriff Dalrymple kind of nods along as you're saying that. He half goes in to take another sip out of the little cup, and the fumes catch him. He's like, "Oh, well, all that aside, Fact is, I can't find a good way of explaining that something happened to him, and I know it right here in my gut that something weird happened here. That I'm gonna have to let him go, and we'll never know what happened."
Well, that's no good. Tell you what, Sheriff, you have what in these sorts of situations? 2 days?
Yeah, our time is limited, but he doesn't. I don't know that he has a specific timeline. So
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, I was thinking about buying some fish myself today, so we'll just mosey on down and maybe have ourselves a little look.
Well, that's just so convenient
Mm-hmm.
that you were going to buy fish today.
I was going to get me some cod.
Like the Cape. It's very good, and it's very good, Francis.
The fish. It's very common. I don't know what you want from me, Ethan. Of course, they named the Cape after the fish.
It's perfect. There. It's perfect. Yeah, I'm with you.
Try.
Don't sass me.
I'm a sassy old lady. I don't know what you want from me.
Oh no, he's too deep in character. We've got to pull him out.
Have you ever met an old
way.
English teacher who wasn't sarcastic, like the most sarcastic person?
I thought that was Ethan. I didn't know.
That is Ethan.
No, that was Mavis.
What?
Yeah.
That was
It's
Mavis.
not here. It's Mavis. Yeah.
Ethan's dead. It's only Mavis now.
It's only Mavis now.
Oh my God. All right. Fair enough. Well, then in that case, Mavis.
They can't come to the phone right now because he's
God.
dead.
Yeah. All right. So in that case, yes, Mavis, we happen to have very good cod here, or haven't you heard?
I think then we get the opening credit music after things are getting spicy. We get the opening credit music, and we get the episode title card that says "Dad Overboard," which is the name of the mystery.
Yes.
Oh my God.
I know. I've watched the Murder, She Wrote episodes of this. I feel like it's loosely based on. I love it.
Yeah, that's what I thought too when I was flipping through it. They're like, "This is the one we recommend as your first game." It's like,
I changed the title in Twitch.
Okay.
There it is.
Cool. Yeah, so the name of the mystery is Dad Overboard. In Brindlewood Bay, mysteries are rated by a complexity rating. So Dad Overboard is complexity rating 6. The way we solve a mystery is there's a move called Theorize. And what that is we'll roll 2d6. You'll add in the number of clues that you have, but then you subtract off the complexity of the mystery. Okay? So right now, you'd be rolling 2d6 minus 6 with no bonuses. And your chances of succeeding are basically impossible. As you collect clues, yeah, you cannot hit on it right now. As you gain clues, your chances improve.
Okay.
And to make things even more fun, there is no. My light just died. Cool. There is no canonical solution to any of the mysteries.
Good.
So I have a list of people, I have a list of clues, I have a list of places. There is no one solution for everybody to try to hit. It is we collect clues until we come up with a way of stringing them together, and then we theorize and see if we have solved the mystery.
Brilliant.
It
I feel like
really.
this was a bad game for me just to decide not to take notes.
I've been taking notes.
Well, there is a Dad Overboard page in Legend Caper that does have some blanks to fill in for stuff, for information as we go along, clues that we collect.
Look at this.
But it does have the name of the members of the Krause family, a
sweet.
couple other people who are out there, and a couple of specific locations. Because the sheriff would have been able to tell you that, like, yeah, they're docked a quarter mile out into the bay. They're here on the Regal Lady, which is the Krause family yacht.
I don't
That'll
trust
be
that
known.
butler. He has a shifty name.
Yes, all Andrews are incredibly shifty.
I left out the part where his middle name's Wayne. That's
Oh God!
Yes.
Oh no.
Yes. Way to. Comedy is circular, kids. It's
Yeah.
Brings it
it's a good
back.
callback.
So I am going to give everybody an extreme close-up of my sweet threadless shirt that came today for a second. While we say, yeah. So there's going to be places in town we can go to check things out.
I couldn't help but notice. I love it.
Okay. Once we plug that back in and it has power, I have a light again.
Okay.
Wow.
Magic.
Yeah.
The
I really thought the
electric
battery would have
light.
lasted longer than that, but all right, whatever. Yes, we have a couple people who we know are on the table in terms of things that are going on. His wife is here. His 3 kids are here. They also have their butler on board on their yacht. Their friend is Etienne Beauregard, the fishmonger here at the Brindlewood Bay Fish Market. They're here on the Regal Lady. And then we get to go out and do things. Typically, acquiring clues is done using a move called the meddling move. So let me dig that one up here to find the description for it. So it's, yeah, when you search for a clue, conduct research, or otherwise gather information, describe how you're doing so, and roll with an appropriate ability. So that would be how you can frame a scene to go somewhere and try to figure out what's going on by investigating someone, by wandering around their backyard, by stiffing around someplace. I think another place that I would put into the list of like things that are going to be relevant here are like people with boats like theirs. They're docked in the bay, but for most of the supplies and like needs for having a boat like that, there is Brindlewood Bay Marina, which they would have been going back and forth to by dinghy. Like they didn't want to bring the sailboat all the way in because it's a pretty big one and there's a chance it would run aground in the bay. But they've been going back and forth by dinghy to the marina for sure to get supplies, all that kind of stuff. And then we let you loose in town, right? We let you go to the fish market and wherever that you feel like going and trying to figure out what's going on here.
So I think it's fair to say that the fish market is probably our first point of contact. Just to kind of get in and see if, I guess, we could have I assume the sheriff is still with us? As we're passing through, or?
Yeah, he's probably like trying to like wrap up and like, well, I mean, don't want to leave this like going to waste and like takes that other half biscuit that's there. Starts to take his hat and head for the door.
Perfect. I will flag him down. Sheriff, before you go, I didn't pick the Columbo trick, but this would be the perfect place for it. I don't suppose in the course of you doing, of course, the routine police business that you would have done any investigation of the body yet? Or have they allowed you to observe the body or examine it?
Yeah, I mean, I took a look at it before when it was fished out of the bay. I took a look at what was going on. Bob, the medical examiner, took a look. Bob is medical examiner. He's like the one doctor in town, and he's probably around the same age as like everybody else here in the room. But he, fills in when the police do need something like that.
Oh, good. I'm
But
so glad to hear you're doing your job.
Yeah.
Now I can remember manners.
Yeah, he will kind of side eye the tone, but like not actually respond to it, and like take another biting biscuit and be like, "Yeah, no, we examined the body when it came out of the bay, and Bob took a look at it, and then, the family asked for it to be kept in cold storage by their friend."
Of course.
You're not telling me they just put a body on all the ice, right? It's not just sitting on the display rack on top of ice.
It's next to it,
next
next
to all the cod.
Yeah,
that probably just smells so fishy.
That's an understatement, Opal.
Yeah.
Well, we should go and look, right?
Well, I'd appreciate it if you would. And he kind of like puts the hat on, heads out.
I don't suppose it'd be possible for us to get any closer looks at the body while it's there, by any chance.
He will probably say that Mr. Beauregard is a family friend who said he was going to take care of the body. And you're not official police business, so I can't just give you access.
Escort us.
It's like, well, that would look funny now, wouldn't it? Like, he's going to like put you on your own. If you want to get in to see the body, Beauregard is the person who is taking care of it, and like you would either have to get past him or sneak in to get it. Check it out.
Yeah, Opal, that would make it look like we're meddling in the due process of law.
Oh, well, I do
Something we would never do.
Meddler.
Never. Not even one.
Well, Sheriff, you'll just have to give us some time to just focus on this and talk about it and see what we can come up with.
Oh, all right. If you all figure anything out, you let me know.
You'll be the first to know, Sheriff.
Yeah. Yeah, so he will let you go at that point. It might be a good spot here to like take a cruise through the basic moves for the game, just to let everybody know what all they are. So there's a page in Legend Keeper, shocker, with all of them listed on it. So yeah, the first one is the day move, which is when you do something risky or face something you fear. Name what you're afraid will happen if you fail or lose your nerve, then roll with an ability. So that is like doing things besides investigation, right? If you're investigating, you're meddling, and if you're doing other stuff and it's the daytime, it's the day move. The kind of covers a lot of other abstraction of stuff. There's also the night move, which is if you do it at night, and basically the outcomes then, if you don't succeed, are stronger if it happens at night.
It maps pretty well with Murder, She Wrote and kind of the stakes.
Yeah, right. During the day, you can sneak onto this boat in the marina and see what's going on, and like maybe you get caught. And at night, you go down this corner, and there's like a bunch of hoodlums in their leather jackets, and ooh, they try to steal your purse, and maybe they rough you up in the alley, right?
That was a very scary scene in the pilot. I'm just saying.
It was. I mean, and it was such a twist too, because you expect it to be the guy off the bus, and it's not. It's not. Sorry, it's no spoilers to everybody, but for sure.
It's spoilers.
The 80s, but yeah.
We're spoiling the 80s.
We have the meddling move, which is whenever you search for a clue, try to get information. The cozy move. So when you take when there's blowback, you get conditions, right? Those are descriptive things, sort of like the Harmon blades, where it's like, oh, I'm bruised, I'm, addlepated, I'm confused, I'm something like that. The cozy move, one of the reasons that you would use that is to get rid of those conditions. So that's when you have an intimate moment with another maven while one of you is engaged in your cozy activity.
So we support each other while we're...
Yeah, so you support each other doing someone's cozy activity. The person whose cozy activity it is gets to choose two things out of the list. Or sorry, two if it's your cozy activity, otherwise choose one. But there's a list of things like you may ask the other player a question about their maven, which they must answer truthfully and completely. You can convince them to do what you're trying to do. You can clear a condition. And sometimes you can stumble on a clue in the process of if it's your cozy activity that you're doing. So it's clears conditions and also lets us kind of check out those relationships between the mavens and find out more information about them. There is also what's called the Gold Crown Mysteries move. So once per game, when any maven says, "This reminds me of something that happened to Amanda Delacourt," work with the other players to describe how something that is happening in the situation reminds the mavens of an event from one of the Gold Crown Mysteries books. At a minimum, you have to provide the name of the book in question, no repeats, the problem that the main character found herself in that's similar to what you're experiencing, and how the main character overcame the problem or resolved the situation. And then you can take the maximum possible outcome as a result to a single roll afterwards. But you can't apply it to theorize. Right? So if you can describe how, in the book, Amanda Delacourt was in a situation where she had to deal with a fishmonger who didn't want her to see a body that was stored in the back for some reason. I don't know why that would be in one of those books. But then when someone tries to get that information, they would roll like the absolute maximum possible.
Very good.
But that is once per session for the entire group.
Okay.
It's a once per mystery automatic success.
Once per session automatic success, yes.
Session.
So if your mystery takes more than one, like maybe it happens.
Okay. Oh, nice.
Yeah. There's also a move for if you engage in an activity related to the supernatural or the occult. That one's pretty dangerous, won't lie. But it is in there because, hey, somebody's going to flip through the Necronomicon.
Yes.
And then there is
the librarian.
Yeah. And then there is the theorize move, which is how we solve a mystery or attempt to, right? So that is when the mavens have an open, freewheeling discussion about the solution to a mystery based on the clues they've uncovered and reach a consensus. Roll plus the number of clues found, not including void clues, which are like supernatural things about the conspiracy going on in the city or the town, the village out here on the Cape. And then you subtract the mystery's complexity, which is 6 right now. Okay. So then based on the outcome, you may find this correct solution, and then we give you a way to like take the culprit down, or, the solution's incorrect and you're going to have to find another solution after you deal with whatever comes out of that being incorrect. So those are all the global moves, and then we have the ones that are specific to the individual mavens. But I wanted to make sure we kind of touched a little bit on like what those options are, because they do run along that whole like, well, how do we get to the body to examine it, and then how do we roll to examine it and see if we're getting clues, right? All that kind of stuff.
Yeah. And if you're kind of unfamiliar with Powered by the Apocalypse, these are reactive. So like we do things, and if it lines up with one of those descriptions, then we roll dice. Otherwise, it's not like a move. But most games have a catch-all move, like keep your cool, or in this case, the day move and the night move are kind of the catch-all.
Yeah.
So we're like, if we don't know what it is, it's probably one of those. Yeah. So it's not like these are my spells in my spell book. It's more like this is just the stuff that might happen that is important. And so you roll dice then kind of deal.
Exactly.
Cool.
Okay. Awesome.
Let's go talk to a fishmonger.
Okay.
Heck yeah.
Unless we want to do something else.
No, I think we would probably start walking, and I think as we were walking, Irene would say, okay, well, we know, of course, that we need to investigate the main areas. So we're looking at the discovery of the body, which is the bay. So that's something we can't exactly search for clues. We need the body itself, so we can search for clues there. And we also need the scene of the crime, which would involve us possibly searching the yacht, which is a problem we would also have to overcome in that instance.
Yeah, that seems about the long and short of it. Are we gonna split up, or
should we look at the out of character? Do we know where in the bay he was fished out of? Like he was amongst a bunch of rocks, or was he like just on
it was like probably towards where there's big rocks at the end of like the main beach stretch.
Okay.
Right, like there's the main beach that all the tourists come and they hang out on, and there's like kind of like the section where it gets all like big and rocky that like you can't really hang out over there. And he kind of like drifted ashore over by where those end of the beach is by those rocks.
Okay. So yeah, I think Francis would suggest, the fishmonger might be a little difficult for us to get to and see, have a look around. Maybe we could go to the bay and see if there's any clues around where the body was found.
I mean, we can always do both.
Sure. Yeah, I mean to start with the bay.
Well, but I thought you needed fish.
I do need fish, but I don't want to
go grab some bait and tackle.
I don't want to work so hard for my food, darling. And really, I just wanted to say that I want to buy fish at the end so I can bring it home to the refrigerator without a bunch of dilly-dallying.
That makes sense.
Keep it on ice as long as possible. You go to the freezer section last. Yeah. Makes sense to me. I mean, we could always
a sensible battle plan.
Battle plan.
That's right. We are going to war in a way. That's right.
We're always a little bit at war, I think. Sometimes more than we realize.
Indeed. Now, Irene, you did happen to remember to bring some of your looking glass there, didn't you?
Always. And Irene's gonna reach into her kind of suit jackety thing and pull out a pair of opera glasses, but they like unfold and extend. So
yeah,
they're small, compact, always for preparation.
Well, bless you. I wasn't really excited about traipsing around a bunch of wet rocks at my age, so to be able to look from afar is going to be nice.
Oh, definitely, and see out to sea a little bit. I certainly don't mind if we get close. I can do a little poking about on the rocks, and she's also going to pull out from her bag like a collapsible cane. Not a nightstick, but kind of a nightstick.
It's kind of heavy in the handle.
It's a little heavy in the handle. It's surprisingly heavy. It's but it's sturdy for walking and poking about in sand and rocks.
Awesome.
So are we splitting up, or is everybody going to one place to start with?
I think we. Oh, go ahead, Ethan.
I'm cool either way, but I think splitting up is also like a valid option.
Divide and conquer.
More than in like D&D.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah. There's no goblins about to attack us. Mike, does it mess you up if we split up?
Nope.
Okay.
Let's flank this problem. I will go to the beach. Who wants to accompany me?
Plus, it'll be fun
Aye,
to
aye,
surprise you about the
Captain.
goblins.
I've got a nightstick. I don't know what the goblins are going to do.
They
The little
splitting up
kids
too.
coming up to you for candy. Whack them.
What was that, Heather?
Where are we splitting up?
I believe between the beach and the fishmonger. Right?
So I would like to go to the fishmonger.
I'll go there as well. The place next door has a really good lobster roll and a nice frosé. So maybe get some dinner.
Poor Opal is very confused.
Are we
Why
solving a mystery?
Francis
Are we
is-
buying food?
about why Francis isn't going to the fishmongers. It's very confusing for poor Opal. And I'm sure Mavis is just going to have to walk and talk with her.
I was gonna do that next, but if we're gonna split, then it doesn't make sense to. So
Francis and
Meet
Irene
us there.
fight the power.
yeah, we're gonna go to the bay, and have a looky loo, have a look see.
Mhm. Yeah.
Now,
Let's see.
Opal, this is the thing we like to call a lie.
Now I understand that. But it really seemed like she wanted to get some fish.
She's a very good actress, very talented. Probably could have at least done off-Broadway.
I think she's very hammy.
Okay, maybe off-Broadway. Maybe Cincinnati. It's pretty nice, right? Classy. Cleveland.
I don't
Hope you
think
did
they
not
would
the
even
good
have
people
her
of Cleveland. They're IKEA. That's your.
I don't even think they would have her at the Crawfordsville a public theater.
Wow, don't let her hear you say that. Yikes. Oh, wow.
Well, I didn't. You don't need to repeat anything I said.
Yes, we won't
Oh,
have a
never.
cozy move scene between those two. All right.
My inspiration character can be very catty at times if you push her. Just saying.
Believe it. All right. Yeah. Okay. So some of us go to the bay, and some of us go to the fish market. Right. Who all is headed to the bay? That was Francis and Irene.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
The two most likely to throw a Molotov.
That's right.
Okay. So yeah, it is still summer here in Brindlewood Bay. There's still a fair amount of like traffic and tourists going on, and all that kind of stuff. So it's a busy time of year in Brindlewood Bay. In what ways are the tourists making it difficult for you to conduct your investigation?
I think there's like a sandcastle contest going on, and so like all along the beach, there's all these people, and because there's these sandcastles on the beach, everybody has to be standing like out and around. So there's like people kind of around where we want to be, and we really can't be private while we're on the beach because of just the crowd around these castles.
Yeah. So then where are you at? What are you doing to take a look around so we can figure out where
I think it's going to be,
make
we're
rolls
going
and
to
stuff.
kind of try to fight our way through the crowd a little bit to get to that rocky area. Irene will definitely be trying to spot a good location. We can kind of go between some of the bigger rocks, try to get out of the way a little bit. Obviously, it's kind of hard. They're going to be teenagers running up and down along the rocks.
Teenagers. No respect.
They are our future.
Heaven help us.
Well, let them lead the way.
It's a couple trying to walk across the tide break, falls and drops his glasses.
Yep.
It's not based on real pain.
We all point and laugh at him for the foolish maneuver he has pulled. But basically, I would just like to get close enough to the rocks, and I don't even know if there would be like any police tape or anything up where they pulled them out, but just close enough up there that I can poke around, just looking for anything out of the ordinary in the sand, especially because it'll have been a little while since they found the body, so there probably would have been at least one tide movement during that time, so I'd expect some sand movement. So there's going to be a little bit of digging involved. It's going to be, and I understand it's not going to be as sneaky as I would like, just because of all the people around, but a little bit of digging in the sand.
There probably is like some like, do not cross tape there that's like kind of like down and in the sand, because like these teenagers are like out here and they're like trying to find space to lay their blankets and all that kind of crap, and they're just like, whatever, man, get rid of it. But you can get back there and try taking a look around and like dig around and stuff.
I think Francis would like kick some sand over that tape. So
you read my mind.
I don't. Never seen it.
Crossed what line?
What tape are you talking about?
I need to go have my prescription adjusted.
Yeah, exactly. just a little sand on top of it. Just plausible deniability. That's all we're building here.
Okay.
Exchange a knowing nod.
Yeah.
Cool. So it sounds like you are searching for a clue or conducting research or gathering information. It sounds to me like you're using reason to do so, by examining a crime scene is specifically there in the list for it.
Yeah, I'm down for that.
Perfect.
Yep.
Let's see.
What do we do? What do we roll?
So it is the meddling move. It is 2d6 plus reason.
Okay.
Unless you are using something from your cozy place that can somehow play into that to give you advantage in doing this search. If you do, then you check it off until we do a cozy move to replenish it. So maybe we use it for the advantage. Maybe we hold off. We just don't want to run out of stuff. Yeah.
I don't think I have anything in my cozy little place that would help, so I would just be rolling. I think our reason is the same, so unless you have something special you can use.
Yeah, I was thinking that maybe maybe I use my painting supplies, my painting trowel and that kind of thing to help me dig in a specific area, and maybe like a throwaway brush, right? I use that to like brush off some stuff to get some of this sand and seaweed out of the way, and I'll just try and be kind of methodical about it. The issue with all of these people is we need to make space, right? And so there will be some effort in trying to shoo away the teenagers that are trying to find a secluded moment, let's say. And so I'll try and
well, I was gonna say, since you have the tools, you could certainly do the digging, and if you need me to, I look stern enough, I can shoo away the teens. Perfect. Also, I am hip and cool and in with all of the funky, cool scenes that are going on in coffee shops and such. So I'm sure if I could sway them to step away a little bit.
Oh, yes, your coffee affliction that is beneficial here. So please, yes, tell them of whatever it is you have overheard, and I'll start digging at the thing.
Cool.
So 2d6 plus the 1.
So if you have a piece of gear that it's with advantage, it's 3d6, and you'll keep the two highest ones.
Okay. Cool. I got a 6, 6, and a 4. So
Okay.
6, 6 plus the 1. So awesome. Dang, kids. Oh,
Okay, so
and I have once per session, when you do the meddling move in a place. Oh, this is not occupied with the rich and famous. Never mind. Okay.
yeah.
I'll just move along with my life. I was trying to get my Maven move up in here, and I just can't.
Yeah, so I think let's see what's here. What's here as clues to hand out? Yes, so you're there, you're digging around in the sand here on the beach, and you do find a part of a piece of paper that is like kind of like it's waterlogged and it's like it was folded over and like stuck to itself and like kind of fused and it was under the sand and all that kind of stuff. But you find it kind of over here, and it is like about the top 2/3 of a sheet of paper that's a letter that it was an attempt to collect a debt.
Oh,
Mm.
is this like a typed formal letter with letterhead, or is this like a handwritten scrawl, personal?
This was something on letterhead. It's actually addressed to make sure I'm getting his full name here. It's addressed to Albert Kraus at the Kraus Agency, Inc., GmbH trademark of Boston. And it's an attempt to collect a significant debt in the corporation's name, which is his.
Wait,
My hackles are instantly up seeing GmbH, which I'm fairly certain is a European European business designation.
I was gonna keep tacking letters onto the end of it. Yeah.
East German?
The,
No, it's
the
just German
the
now. It
German
should be
equivalent of
fine.
an LLC or something. Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't quite
So yeah,
super close. So it's a letter from Albert Kraus's.
it's a letter to Albert Kraus's business, like addressed to him as CEO, as an attempt to collect a significant debt.
Seems old man Kraus was in over his head.
And I owe you one more thing here. Give me 1 second. I was just going to put the an attempt to collect a debt into the clues here. And I also owe you
From a East German firm.
I was mostly kidding when I kept tacking more and more things onto the end of the company. Yeah.
This German firm. European. Planet Earth.
It's at least that.
It's from Eurocorp. Yeah, right. Like it's somebody. Yeah. I think as you turn back around to face Irene and like explain it, like, oh, I found this thing and like come here and take a look. There are some teens on the opposite side of Irene, and one of them has like this big like tribal tattoo across like his shoulders in the back. And for a minute, like it feels like it's moving on his back as you're looking at him. Like it's a little disorienting, and you can like, what? And then like it stops when you kind of rub your eyes for a second.
Francis kind of does this. I think today's tea was perhaps stronger than normal. Maybe the heat is getting to me. Irene, are we about done here?
I think we're about done here. We found, well, certainly some reason to want to disappear. It's an interesting discovery. I think we should probably reconvene back at the fish market.
Let us go find our friends.
Meanwhile,
yeah, cut to commercial. Denture Group is great. Come back from commercial at the fish market. So yes, for those of us who are at the fish market, what do you see that reminds you why you love the fish market? Or what about this place makes you hate coming down here?
I think Mavis, she likes to come down here to buy octopus because it's the only place that she can get just good Galician octopus, other than Galicia.
Um,
Her and Vern sailed to Spain one time.
Opal likes coming down here because it has all of the sea creatures that she's getting accustomed to seeing because she's from a landlocked area and didn't really see crabs or lobsters and that stuff until she moved out here. So it's always just so weird the way those little bugs move.
We get that, yeah, we get that like establishing shot that's like the opposite side of the lobster tank where like they're all like moving around and like
she's
kinda
just
comes up, like,
watching them.
yeah.
Yeah, just watching them. They're really good with butter.
Yes.
Like we still know that we're gonna eat them, but like, look,
Yeah.
look at nature.
You're gonna be so yummy, mister. That's yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, then there's a bunch of different stalls here. And probably one of them back towards the back is probably um, anybody who's been to New Orleans. Like if you were from New Orleans, you would recognize this as being like the crass, cartoony version of trying to look like New Orleans with like it's got the hanging beads and like the flags and stuff like that. It's like, oh, it's Mardi Gras year round here for at Etienne Beauregard's fish stall.
You okay there, even? Doesn't that hurt a little?
Mardi Gras was yesterday.
Yeah, it's a big thing here too. Yeah.
Now we're at the boring part.
Where you actually have to like not do stuff.
It was Ash Wednesday. How about that?
Or like Farty Gras, am I right?
So yeah, he is there. He is talking up another like a younger tourist couple who's there, and like they probably like, well, we have a rental for the week and we wanted to like cook for ourselves. We thought we'd get some of this fine local fish. And he has, and anybody who has traveled will be like, yes, he has like the Disney movie version of an accent from New Orleans. He is. This is upsetting to people who know the real deal. And he is trying to sell these people on some fish that is probably not even from around here. It's probably came in from like, yeah. Yeah, these are like, local lobsters. It's like the lobsters come from Maine, dude. They're not that local. They're near. You're wrong, but yeah, he's there. He's probably like wrapping up this like sales pitch to this kind of 30 something couple, selling them like fish that's probably at least 50% more than it should be costing. All right, y'all come back now, you hear? Right?
She probably yells "Les le bon temps roulé" at them too, and as they go, because that's the only thing.
There's a plaque that has like the face mask and like the crossed like feather wands, and it has that printed across the bottom. Yeah, that's
perfect. Absolutely, flirtily everywhere.
Yes.
After the couple leaves, Opal will go up and like look at the lobster and smile at the man. Me and Mavis here. I'm Opal, and this is Mavis, and we heard that you may have something back there that you happen to have.
Oh, we lost you there.
Oh, am I here again? Hello?
Yeah, you're back.
Hello?
You're back.
Always when I start talking, which is great. We're trying to solve a mystery, and we hear have something in the back that we would very much like to take a look at. Would you be able to help us with that?
I think he will. It's kind of the Rodney Dangerfield like thing in the back. I don't know what you're talking about, right? Like, yeah. Uh, uh, he's like, well, only thing I got here is fish. Yeah, best fish in town. Like, I'm not sure. It's like there's other people in here, so I was like, I don't know what I would have here that would be part of a mystery. Don't know that for sure. I got nothing weird here. Like,
Of course. Maybe you could just show us what you have back there, because I think people here would hate to hear about what we think it is.
So I think you're trying to do something risky in
Am I?
convincing him to let you back there.
Sure.
I think Mavis is just like,
okay. I'm trying to use
Wow.
presence to charm someone, I guess, with my own stupidity. Is how these charm actions are gonna work, my friends. But yeah, what do I need to do?
Yeah, sorry, I didn't have a cross reference between the thing, and add the auto link and do that so I can actually see the thing. Yes, so yes, presence is if you're trying to charm someone, intimidate them, blah blah blah. So he certainly is playing dumb and does not seem to want to let people heading back there.
That's awesome. I'm also playing
So when you do something risky or face something you fear, in this case it's kind of risky, right? Like he doesn't want you back there, etc. Name what you're afraid will happen if you fail or lose your nerve.
Oh, we'll get turned away and won't get clues. Or does it have to be even more risky?
I think there's going to be like something like this is the like define your own harm if your roll fails kind of deal, right? Like this is like what are the consequences if you don't convince him to let you back there, and instead he does something in response to try to get rid of you. What's going on?
Yeah, he's gonna yell and make a scene. Like we're gonna seem like the people that are causing a problem within the fishing area.
We're gonna get posted on r/public freakouts.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But
you're gonna get the Polaroid. You're gonna it's modern
a
times.
A blotter message.
It's modern times. You end up in like the Polaroids next to the door. Like these people aren't supposed to be coming in.
Oh
like,
man,
okay.
like a stern rebuke from the proprietor is like, oh man, you might not be able to buy fish here anymore. That would suck. If your photo's on the thing, that's like a really bad deal. if they've got your Polaroid next to the cash register, that's super bad.
No, there's no gumbo in the winter, and that's the only guy who's gonna make any within like 100 miles.
Probably more than that.
Mavis is probably like, don't mess this up for me, Opal. His jambalaya is surprisingly good.
What is jambalaya?
It's clam chowder up here.
Not the guy who's New Orleans for dummies. He's got jambalaya and gumbo.
That's how he did. Like his entire place was just flipping through New Orleans for dummies.
So what do I need to do?
You will roll 2d6 plus your ability score, and I don't remember the names. Presence. Yes.
Okay, so wait. 2d6 plus whatever my presence is, which is 1.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
And what is good and what is bad in rolls like this?
So a 6 and below is a miss.
That's
a 7
bad.
to 9 is a partial hit.
Okay.
A 10 or above is a full hit. And on a 12 or more, you get something extra.
That is a 10.
In my case, that could be like, that was like a bad thing.
It wasn't a bad thing.
It's a good thing. It's a void clue.
Yeah, you got a void clue.
Yeah, I got 9 on the dice and plus 1.
Plus 1.
So 10.
Okay. So you do what you intend or you hold steady. Describe what it looks like.
Oh, I just, talk his ear off a little bit about, different things that are around here that potentially could be in the back. Like,
If we were hanging out and we heard that we should come here and get some fish from Sheriff Dalrymple, who was, looking forward, like, he will eventually like kind of flinch, like, oh, I mean, I should not let you into the back, but like, here, follow me. I will show you the specials that will be coming out tomorrow for
smoking a cigarette
Thursday.
while handling fish.
Hey, I don't.
Is that
I don't know
what
how
just happened?
he went from being like mock New Orleans to like French. And
To like
I
a French art
Right.
house film.
Les poissons.
Well, I mean,
Yes,
wouldn't
exactly.
the French villain like ape a bunch of Creole stuff? Like,
Yeah, he's absolutely going to turn into the chef from The Little Mermaid in a minute. Yeah, that's
yes.
yeah, but he will like, okay, he kind of like leans in closer over the top of the glass case with you. He's like, and so you guys kind of like come close. I'm like, oh well, if you're, it's like, look, I won't bullshit you. Like the accent goes away completely.
Opal is so confused again.
Just it's got to be quick, just for a couple minutes. But yeah, come around the back, and I'll let you into the cooler.
She just looks at Mavis. Like,
What is it? What is it this time, Opal?
well, he's lying.
Yeah.
Fibber.
That fibber. I thought he was from Louisiana with his gumbo and his jambalaya, whatever.
He's from Louisiana, Michigan, maybe. But yeah.
And Maeve's just like, no, honey, that man wouldn't know Mardi Gras from Carnival.
Yeah. But he will let you back into the cooler.
She don't know what.
All I know is they were covered by 2 totally different series on HBO. So that's Mardi Gras, you go to New Orleans for. Carnival is like in the Dust Bowl and there's demons or something. That's different show. All right. Yeah, he lets you back into the like big walk-in cooler space. I'm gonna drive Andy out by the end of the first session.
Andy is done playing with us.
He will let you like hang out back there and kind of keep an eye on you to like see that you're not like
Stealing all the fish that he has stored right next to the body.
Yeah.
Yes. He's like, I've known the Krauses for a long time, and I don't, I'm taking care of Albert's body for them, but he also like doesn't want you like defiling the corpse or something. I don't know what he thinks you're gonna do back here, but he's
just 2 little
around.
ladies.
Yeah. They're like, I don't know, man. This town's weird. Right. So, but yeah, if you want to search for clues, we can now search for clues, right? Like we can check out the body. We can try asking this guy a question. We have options.
I think Mavis is going to pull out of her purse like a box of like nylon gloves. But they're and she's just like, I have to keep these on hand for old books, but I should probably put some of these on.
Mm-hmm.
Fingerprints.
Some of those, yeah.
And they're like black. They're like not the like latex or like whatever. They're like the black ones they wear at cool places, like tattoo shops. For they're too cool for blue gloves or whatever color. Yeah, and I think Mavis is just gonna start kind of going through pockets, like kind of pulling back the, if there's a jacket, pulling the jacket back and checking for inside pockets, like feeling the lining. Like
I
doing
think,
all those, like where would somebody hide something, kind of.
Yeah, like he's down to like base layer clothing. But there probably is like a little bag to the side that is like, he was wearing a blazer when he went into the water, and like
Right.
his like blazer, belt, shoes, things like that are kind of in that bag. He's still got like shirt and pants on. He's like not like totally stripped down or anything like that.
Yeah. Yeah,
But
so
some of
she's
those,
going through clothes and looking for like oh, maybe there's something hidden in, this spot under the lapel or something, like kind of trying to
okay.
call on like where people hide things in murder mysteries.
Okay.
Does he look like he was beat up or anything?
If you tell me how you are taking a look at him, I can find out an answer for you. Right? Like if it's a role, then I can find out a clue, but like
Oh,
because there is no definitive answer to what happened to him, I have no description of the corpse. If we try to find out, do we find a clue, then I have a list of clues that I can give you about like, oh yes, from the corpse you can tell that X.
oh, okay. Um, I
But like
think.
otherwise, I just know there is a corpse because we're investigating murder. But
Gotcha.
what happened
It'd be
to
so
him?
strange if there wasn't.
What
He
else went
he
on?
wakes up
No
and walks
information.
away.
It's very, very scary. No, I think she's just gonna be looking around the face and like at his hands.
Okay.
Classic
But
like.
you're like examining the body. You're looking
Yeah.
at him kind of deal. Okay.
Yeah.
And then Ethan was kind of doing the same and also like kind of around the clothing and stuff like that.
Yeah, more
If
like what am I going to
Ethan's-
find in his pockets versus
yeah.
what am I going to find around the neck or whatever kind of deal.
Okay.
Yeah. I'd also like to talk to the guy. So if one of those like if I have to pick one of those two things, then talking to the guy is probably
I think in the interest of time for tonight, picking one of those two things is probably going to be.
So could I get the body, like just the body in general, including like
Yeah.
clothes and stuff? Okay, then we'll split it that way. And
Okay.
then-
Sounds
Okay.
good.
Then yeah, Ethan, you would be doing the meddling move with reason, and it sounds like Katrina, you would be doing the meddling move with presence.
Oh.
Ooh.
That's sorry, I have these dice. They are hard to read. That's a 12 plus presence is a 13.
Okay.
I got a 7.
You got a 7. Okay. So 7 is hit. You do find a clue. Let's see. What can we give you here? Yeah, you're sifting through the jacket and kind of in the inside pocket from his blazer, like there's a little tear in the lining in there, and you kind of notice and like work your finger in there, and you do find an expensive diamond earring, but only one of them. And then
Okay. I think Mavis will pull that out and like hopefully in a way to where like maybe Etienne's back is turned to Mavis, while Opal is kind of hold it up and then like toss it in her purse kind of deal, like
okay.
which seems like the perfect amount of subtlety that Opal can definitely handle.
Okay. There'll be one more thing, but we'll hit it after we're done with the
Just
scene.
one of those like nod things that I've totally seen Jessica Fletcher do. Like, yep. Mm-hmm.
And then for Opal,
Excuse me.
What is something you could find out about from here? From talking to the guy. I think Mr. Beauregard here, Etienne Beauregard, he will talk about how, like, yes, I've known Albert for a very long time. I knew him before he made his millions. I remember our time in Bangkok and back when he had, back when he was involved with, and he names like a foreign name, like a Thai name. Um, and then he'll kind of like hiccup for a second and be like, it'll kind of click that like from newspapers you've seen, like, Albert's been married to his wife for decades, and like the time that this guy was talking about would have been like in that time that like they were working overseas together and he was seeing someone else while he was overseas doing that.
Albert was.
Yes. And I think as you're kind of back there wandering around, looking around, you do see he does have like a row of fish. It's very cold in here, and there's like a layer of ice under everything. Um, and there's this row of fish that you recognize as being like local cod. And there's one on the end with a strange purple ooze seeping from its beady black eyes.
That's okay.
It's not okay.
No.
I'm sorry.
Oh no, that's just creepy. It's good.
Oh, I thought you were mad at my typing.
No. I was talking about the.
No, he was upset about fish with like purple stuff leaking out of their eyes. That's is a reasonable response. Yeah,
it's creepy.
Mabel, Opal would point at that and kind of like, I think that one's gone bad.
I think he will be like,
right.
Oh, sacre bleu! Like, and he will like grab it and like take it to the side. He will throw it into like a trash bin. It's like, these local fishermen, which now I'm like, now he's Ukrainian. I don't know what the hell's happening. These local fishermen, they keep bringing me the fish, and they go bad with this very strange. I don't understand it. People, they make fun of me for so many of my fish being shipped in, but so many of the local fish, I can't get it. I'm not gonna try. Or keep coming up like weird, like they go bad instantly, and like it's very strange.
Well, I'll have to mention that to Frances. She probably doesn't want to eat fish from here if that's the case.
No. It's just it's once in a while. I never let it get out to the front. It's under control. Don't know. I was gonna inspect those ones before they went out tomorrow morning anyway. It would have been fine.
Francis will just have to stick with the freeze-dried stuff.
Probably a good idea.
Like
I know
frozen
those
fish.
mud bugs didn't come from anywhere.
Like,
You can cut the crap, Betsy, and I know those mud bugs didn't come from anywhere near Massachusetts.
This Maine is not far from here.
All fibs.
But yeah, he will, then allow you to leave now that you've had your opportunity to observe Albert's body here.
And that was a void clue, right? I assume.
Yes, it was one regular clue and one void clue, and I'll update after we get done here the page in Legend Keeper with all the clues and void clues from the mystery.
Cool.
I do feel like I want to give you a chance to, because I don't think you got to medal for.
I haven't rolled yet.
Yes. Nope. Let's give you a chance to do that clickety clackety action. Come on.
Let's have some clicky clacky. Okay. What I would. Let's see. So we've examined, by this point, we've walked up conveniently at the end of your conversation with Etienne Bratislav Beauregard, the Ukrainian French Cajun chef.
Bratislav, that was nice.
Oh, I think as you all kind of come back together here at like by where the beach ends, and there's the fishmonger place. There's probably also like the entrance to the marina over there. And Sheriff Wyman is over there, and there's also like the one local, like it's not like a full-blown ambulance, but it's like the red and white PT Cruiser kind of scenario. And they are wheeling a stretcher up the docks at the marina. with a sheet covering the face.
Hmm.
So
Well, I think it's time for me to stroll right up there and just kind of my presence isn't great. And I'll be honest, I'm thinking since that's the case, I'm not gonna exactly be able to talk my way in there. So I'm gonna coast on badassery by itself. So I'm just gonna walk up, position myself at sort of an intercept route. So that way when the thing goes past, I could just I'll just reach out and lift up the corner of the sheet just to see what's underneath.
Ooh, maybe
Ballsy.
maybe you could like co-op Francis in here. Maybe like while it passes by, like grab a little corner of the sheet and it like slides off, so you get a chance to look or something like that.
That's a good idea. I'll do that. I'll kind of direct a little bit of. We'll have a silent eyes conversation of like, how do we interfere with the goings on of the local police force? Eyes conversation. Just to make sure. Yeah. Well, I'll have you slow them down a bit so that way it's easy enough for me to just walk up and just whoosh and see who's underneath the sheet.
Awesome. Love it.
So it almost sounds like you're doing the meddling move using vitality.
I mean,
Maybe?
vitality, composure was kind of what I was hoping for, but I'll understand the vitality.
That's good.
Like
That's good.
hand to do things.
Yeah,
slowly, that kind
just
of thing.
like if I'm walking up, I'm just going to be cool as a cucumber, just going to take a look under. It's a dead body. What's the worst it could be?
Okay. Yeah. No, go for
it. That's the one. We've got two. All right. Let's see. Clicky clacky action. I'm liking that clicky clacky action. So that is an 11 plus 2, so 13.
Nice.
13. All
nope,
right.
Sorry. 9 plus 2. 11. Got
11.
the numbers wrong.
Still full hit. Yeah.
Don't see an elder god, but that's fine.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Yeah, under the sheet, he's younger than any of you, but not by a whole lot. He's probably wearing a white pressed shirt, but it's wet. Like all his clothes are wet and his hair is wet. They fished him out of the there. And he probably has like a pretty significant head wound and like there's blood coming from like nose and mouth.
What I was looking for.
Yeah. But he's also wearing like this vest over his white shirt and tie and a pair of black slacks. I think as you end up tugging at stuff, a little scrap of paper falls out that you're able to scoop up. And it has a sequence of numbers written on the slip of paper.
Definitely be looking at that later.
And I think as they get him over to where the sheriff is standing and where like Dr. Bob, the stand-in medical examiner when they need that kind of thing is at, to load him into the back of this like kind of mock small ambulance scenario.
Can I add a descriptor to Dr. Bob, because there's a trope I love about small town doctors, and that's that they're very squeamish about dead bodies.
Yes.
Like if you're alive, it's fine. It's fine. It doesn't matter what you come in with, but once you're cold, it's.
I love it.
Yeah, I think yes. So the sheriff will say, probably like, "Well, you could have just asked," as he kind of goes by, and as he gets over to Dr.
Who's
Bob,
the Vic, Sheriff?
Dr. Bob will like lift up the sheet, look like you can watch like blood drain out of his face, like, and like drop it back down, and Dr. Bob will ask the sheriff, and the sheriff will tell him like, yeah, the victim's name is Andrew Highshelfson. He's the Krause family butler.
Andrew Wayne Highshelfson, yeah.
Yes, Andrew Wayne Highshelfson.
with a Y, Hy.
Highshelfson.
Yep.
Some SEN. We've taken creative control of your adventure. I apologize.
Do it. Go for it. Again, the whole thing, it's 2 pages. The second one is like mostly blank space. Go for it. A little blank for it. Yes. So yes, this is the Kraus family butler. You can overhear them say that they came in on a dinghy to the marina to get some supplies, and he fell from the dinghy, cracked his head on the piling, and fell into the water. And
Gravity is not
it's
kind to
just
the
yeah.
Krauses.
Yes.
A lot of falling.
Or the Krause's employees, apparently.
It's going around. That fallen disease.
I didn't realize head wounds were contagious.
Seems they might be.
What's going on in this
Reminds me of the
damn
good
town?
old days.
Like, wait, that would have worked direction. Dallas, springtime. Never mind.
Yeah, so I was trying to keep Wyman, Daryl Rimple, and Dr. Bob kind of distracted while Irene did her business. I'm
Okay.
expecting this.
Yeah, you probably did. Like they definitely didn't notice that anything fell and you scooped it up or anything like that.
Perfect. Perfect. Good. Yeah. So
I was going to say, if you're chatting with them, will there be any opportunity? Because I would love to just get in and kind of take a closer look at that head wound. If I could just get like 5 good seconds looking at the size and shape of the head wound just to get an idea.
Get some measurements.
Yeah.
Mm.
I think that is the one where if you grab the sheet and lift it up, Dr. Bob will be like, and not even try to stop you. He's just like,
yes.
Oh, don't make me look at it again. There's so much blood, right? And there's
so
much blood.
I'm gonna be chatting up Sheriff Dalrymple about his diet, and I'm gonna make sure he has some extra crackers on hand, and that kind of thing. So I'm gonna really try and make it so that he doesn't see that we're thoroughly examining this victim right behind him.
Yeah, no, you're there, and that as you're trying to have that conversation about the crackers and trying to are you taking care of yourself, Sheriff, or you're doing the things that you're supposed to do, and Dr. Bob probably gets distracted and takes part in that conversation.
Keep a Fresca with you at all times.
Yeah, and Dr. Bob's like, look, Wyman, I keep telling you got to lose at least 15 pounds or else it's like that. That's everybody focuses on that, and Irene is very much able to be like, all right, so size and shape, angle of entry, arc.
I use my finger to measure the edges, and then I open up my little notebook to do a little blood press for how much of my finger it was.
That's so unsanitary.
So I can measure them later.
That is so unsanitary.
Listen, when you're in foreign countries for travel reasons,
sometimes corpse blood just happens.
Corpse blood happens is Irene's tramp stamp. So I'm gonna get depth, like you said, angle of impact. I'm looking to see, does this look like, is this a big enough wound, messy enough to be a pylon? Is this a smaller wound? We're looking something, an actual direct weapon, that sort of thing.
So yeah, I mean, this definitely means
to gather that info.
Yeah, this is definitely he did hit his head on one of those pylons, one of the
okay.
I should remember the name for these things. Pilings, rather.
Pilings.
For the dock. Yeah, the wooden posts that are upright.
Okay. If in that case, once I saw that, I would like to check the throat to check for any ligature marks. I'm looking for hands. I'm looking for garrots. I'm gonna, as long as the sheriff and doctor are distracted, I want to get everything I can out of this man's upper body. What wounds are we looking at here?
Check his back for a boot print. Somebody just kicks him.
I'm like putting on a smock behind you.
Francis is like, look, Sheriff, look, these boots that I'm wearing are really good at kicking things, especially in the back. And so
Yeah. Francis is having a conversation with the sheriff, and in the background of the shot, Irene is like putting on gloves and getting out like a surgical saw and like just to see what's going on inside here, right? Like,
and Francis is desperately trying to hint, if I ever had to use a boot to kick somebody in the back, they might fall over.
I'm sealing up some test tubes for toxicology tests later, but
I'll get to your boot theory in a second. I'm doing real science here. Is the look you probably give back.
so now the question is, do I just say a thing so it moves on, or do I be like, all right, Francis, you're making the day move to try to keep everybody occupied, and then we're gonna make another meddling move, to, like,
I am interested in that kind of stuff. I do want to try it one more. I would like to see one more roll if we could.
clacky, clacky, dicey, dicey.
The day move thing is interesting to me.
Okay, so yeah, I think there's that is like the two parts to like the scenario there is that like you're trying to keep the sheriff occupied, and there's consequences to that if you don't, and also Irene is trying to check for more information that may or may not come to fruition.
Mm-hmm.
Pushing. Okay, so I think something that Francis would worry about is she knows that she's kind of a different bird, right?
Mm-hmm.
Bird of a different flock here. And so I think she, in trying to like do these side communications with Irene, does worry about coming off as like too weird to the sheriff. It's like I want to communicate with my friend here, but I don't want the sheriff to end up with the impression that I'm a weirdo. So that would be something that I think she would worry about.
Okay. So what would play out of that, him thinking you're a weirdo, if that did go poorly? Is that
Yeah, I
like he
think.
would stop like communicating with you as much, or is that
Yeah, maybe he doesn't. Maybe he doesn't defer to me as much. Maybe that impacts our relationship a little bit.
okay?
Yeah,
Okay.
like he doesn't let me feed him. He doesn't let me give him crackers anymore, right? He's like, oh,
And what's in the crackers? Yeah, what are you up to?
I'm not taking crackers from a weirdo.
Right. Yeah, I mean, kind of sounds like you're trying to use presence to charm or capture their attention.
Yeah, it is. I should have gotten presents. I knew I'm a presence player. I was like, let's go the physical route. Dumb David, dumb. All right, cool.
Maybe you could arm wrestle the sheriff into a conversation.
All right, Sheriff.
Look, I'm just saying you should be eating crackers more. I'm like, meanwhile, I'm sitting here like, after this session, do I need to go Google what's up with like diabetes and crackers? Like, what's going on here?
Oh, just digestives or whatever. Yeah. All right. So 2d6, because I don't think I have anything that I can like swing into this to give me an advantage. It's a 9.
Okay.
And I have 0 presence. So 9 is my answer.
So on a 7 to 9, it's a partial hit. I'm supposed to tell you how your actions would leave you vulnerable, and you can choose to back down or go through with it.
Okay.
So yeah, I think there's the chance that tarnishes your reputation for sure, and potentially how much he trusts the murder mavens.
Oh man, I don't want him to like not trust us. That would suck.
Yeah, like he wouldn't like totally cut everybody off, but it's like this one weird person who was like trying to do something weird is like part of this group, and like, does that mean the group is trustworthy? Because
yeah, and he didn't quite put 2 and 2 together that I was the one that spiked the punch earlier, but like he might start to suspect after this interaction. So I'm gonna back off. I don't want to blow our relationship with him in our first session. So I'm gonna very like obviously wind down the conversation to give Irene a second to like put everything back away, but I'm gonna back off from my ploy here.
So my read on that is that that kind of dies down the conversation and people start turning their attention back to
Right.
the body here before we start having the chance to be like, let's flip up and roll, and look underneath, start poking it, like,
Yeah.
Before we really go
I'll
hog
take-
wild with it.
yeah.
Yeah. I'll take that.
Okay. Cool. So we have actually gone a bit long.
Okay.
By which I mean about an hour longer than we usually try to shoot for. But, you know, it's just winter.
This has been
Everything's
really
bad.
fun.
We're trying to, yeah.
We did character creation and start a game. Like I normally, I'm like a character creation and then later make the game. So this was really fun to like go straight into game making. Like that was solid.
Yeah.
Yeah, so let me find the sheet here because there are things I am supposed to do at the end of the session. And I am still trying to learn them all. So, oh shoot, I will read up on it more for next time. There is a section on the character sheet that says crowns. There's I'm blanking on the name. Like one is Crown of the Void, and the other's like Crown of the Queen, I want to say.
Mhm.
And those are things that you can do that will help you to manipulate what's going on in the game. Like you can change dice rolls with that. But then you end up having to narrate a specific scene based on any of those that you choose at the end of the session. So
It's all flashbacks and stuff. Neat.
well, they're flashbacks for the Crown of the Queen. If for the Crown of the Void, they are other stuff, and they start to like make changes in your stats and things like that.
Wow.
So there's yeah. If you want to go down that void path, that is where it happens. But yeah, usually there's a spot to make sure that there's those scenes that have to happen because you did a thing would happen. I forgot to go through any of that, so none of those happened, and we don't have to do any of those scenes. Problem solved. Yes, then we take a look at those questions that we checked at the beginning of the session. And we run through to give everybody XP. I don't think we didn't solve the mystery yet because we only just got started. So no XP for that one. But then everybody chose the two. Yeah. Everybody checked the two that were specific to you for the night. So if you hit those, they're 1 XP each. And if you did, give a shout because I don't remember what everyone chose for all of them.
I tried to talk about chocolate with a young person.
Cool. Take it.
I think for Mavis, I think the like pulling out the earring and like the is like I still got it. You know,
Yeah.
they say maybe those lenses on the glasses are getting a little too thick, but I still found it. I felt it out. I knew it was there. I feel like still got it is just such a like got what the like. I feel like there's a lot of ways to. I feel like finding an earring in the lining of someone's coat is it. I feel like I've still got it.
Mhm.
Behave like a woman half my age by spiking the T. And then undermining authority by covering up the barrier out on the beach. Like,
disrespect your surroundings.
yes.
I get it. Anarchy means I litter. Okay, cool. That's.
I used the sand that was there. I just I didn't add trash.
Eco terrorism.
Yeah.
Well, I would definitely say I don't know if the our kind of crazy scheme to reveal the body counts as still got it.
Sure.
Being able to kind of delay a body travel and investigate it at the same time. And I don't know. The whole time, okay, I do want to say this is less of a single event and more of a subtle undercurrent, but it definitely started with me encouraging the sheriff to drink on duty so that I have more information that could potentially weaken his position as the head of law enforcement in the town. But just generally,
you're like, this is for you.
But just generally trying to weaken sort of the sheriff's ineffectual handling of this case, I feel like also is not so secretly undermining the authority of a local official.
He didn't catch
and
on.
I think I have a target now. So would that be 2 experience points?
Sure.
My goodness, I could choose an additional Maven move.
Yeah, what do you spend XP on?
When you reach 5, you're able to buy 1 upgrade, and
It's gonna be
if I
fun.
find the right stuff here. So they are under advancements. And then if you're using the PDF character sheet, they have checkboxes because you're only supposed to use each of them once. In the Legend Keeper, we should cross one out or remove it after you take it. You can increase an ability modifier by 1, choose an additional Maven move, or unmark all the items in your cozy little place. So any gear that you used, you get back.
And that's 5 XP for 1.
Yeah.
That's after you get 5 XP.
Oh wow! So for 5 XP, I get my gear back.
All your gear back. Yeah. If you do the cozy move with somebody, you can get 1 thing back.
Oh, neat.
And if you spend your XP, you can get everything back all at once.
Neat. Okay. Okay. Cool. Yeah. Good to know what I was spending there. Awesome.
Yeah. But you only
Definitely
increase an
not
ability.
I was going to
No,
say,
go ahead.
definitely not eyeing up the Milton Hardcastle Maven move, which at the end of each session, you also has an additional question, which is always marked, and did you inflict extrajudicial punishment on a wrongdoer?
They do explain in the book, like, that doesn't necessarily mean, like, you physically assaulted them or anything. It's like, there are other ways of doing that. But
yeah,
that is, if you do things outside the law to punish someone.
Yeah. And we just need to find out who the person is. And then
Overthrow the government.
Full murder hobo begins.
Yes. We're just little old lady murder hobos. This is gonna be great. This is gonna be a good time, right?
That's right. That's right.
We're gonna get some serious mileage out of the night move.
Hell's grannies.
And so go around the table and answer questions, give everybody XP, and then they do stars and wishes at the end. Stars are things about the session that anybody enjoyed. Wishes are things that you hope to see in the next session.
I had fun throughout. It was good to get started.
Stars I enjoyed were all the other players, especially Opal, learning how lying works.
Opal made it to how old without knowing how lying happens?
I definitely got the Ruth vibes. I got the Golden Girls vibes for sure that came across.
Too hammy. Too hammy.
No, in a fun way though. It's like
no, it's wholesome. It's gonna be fun.
It's wholesome.
That's why I'm like,
I want to see a split. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was like, that's why I was like, I can do presence and just do it through sheer force of will and charm, rather than being sneaky like I normally am. So,
I want to see an Irene and Opal team up at some point.
Oh hell yeah!
Because it's gonna be whole one thing going on in one place and an entirely separate thing going on in the same place.
Yeah, definitely. I really liked the way that what is it? Mavis and Opal like shade talked, like threw a bunch of shade in Francis. right as we split, I was like, yes, that's exactly what Francis is. Thank you. It's quality.
Inter-party conflicts.
That's so good because she's such a like talentless person, but it's hard for me to convey that. So it's really good for you guys to convey that. So thank you.
Yeah, also the Columbo move, right? So people just don't take you as seriously.
Right. Exactly.
Like,
Exactly.
I really love it was a lot more like I was surprised by how much I enjoyed the giving out the cozy little place kind of stuff. Like it had a very it was like David said, it felt like getting presents, and like just reading it, I didn't like get that as much until I did. I was like, oh, that is really
Yeah, that felt super positive. I was like, oh man, I get these cool things, and now I get to imagine what I could do with those things. Like that's fun.
What's in everybody else's house? I get to help decide. Yeah.
That's really fun.
Neat. Yeah. Cool. Yeah.
also good void clues.
Yes.
Two in the first session, and we only adventured for half of it. So that's a
We
lot,
had
it seems like.
2 13s this session.
Yeah.
A lot of high rolls.
Yeah.
That felt good.
Doing good so far.
We'll see if it continues.
Well, you don't have the roll 20 luck where it's like everybody rolls their top values for like the first 8 minutes, and then like
I know.
nobody rolls above a 3 the rest of the night. So,
Yes.
random number generator, my ass. That's
Yeah. No.
We got that generating random numbers the old-fashioned way.
Right. By
Boom.
throwing bones.
Throwing bones.
All right.
Cool.
Should we kick up a raid? Should we send our happy cadre to some unsuspecting streamer?
Yes. Do that.
All right. So here's the deal. My buddy Remulus 1988 on Twitch is my friend from Kansas. He plays World of Warcraft, and every so often he streams. And so I'm going to send us to good old Remulus. He was in my like home D&D game. That was like an epic game and all that kind of stuff. And so I just want to give him some love. And I don't know if y'all like World of Warcraft anymore or whatnot, but I just want us to go over there and give him some emotes and show him some love.
Do the kids these days like the World of Warcraft?
That's right. He's a chill dude, and he's actually got 6 people watching him, which is like huge for him. So let's double that number, right? Let's give him some love.
Hell yeah.
Folks, we're gonna be back on Saturday with Aegon, so catch us there. And as always,
New Island.
Yes. Have fun and play well.
May all your rolls be crits.
Yeah.